Hello, my dear friends. This video will be very important. If you are in sticky 80s or early 90s, this one video will change the whole scenario. It will cover all the important mappings and extremely important recurring geography concepts, which will give you sure short marks. This video will be very important because I have linked all the mapping sections from the last 12 year PYQs and last 2 years current affairs. After this, you just need only one thing, that is confidence. As usual, the PDF will be posted in the Karmyogi Telegram channel, and the practice test will be posted next day in the same channel. Without any further delay, let me start this video. This year, if one topic will be the hottest, that will be Aravali mountain range. Why so? Because it was so much in news due to the proposed change in definition. So if you see the Aravali mountain range, this is our Aravali. This is called as the savior of specifically the regions like Delhi NCR. It could become a desert if there is no Aravali. So you can see that Aravali ranges are also part of Gujarat. It sways like a straight line throughout the Rajasthan, and you can see that it enters also in Haryana. Okay. And Delhi, if you have gone to Delhi Ridge, if you have gone to nearby areas of Jawaharlal Nehru University, you must have seen that Delhi Ridge is the area where you can see the Aravali mountain ranges. This is perhaps one of the oldest mountain ranges of the world, but it is getting inundated because of illegal minings and quarrying and construction activities in one line because of the greed of the people. We also need to read a bit of the facts about Aravali because it is very important for this year examination. It is one of the oldest fold mountains in the world. Now, what is the fold mountain? This is a concept which is very important. There are two mountains you must have heard about, block and fold, in the basic NCERT. So fold mountains in the world are the largest and most extensive mountain system. And they form by the bending and crumpling of rock layers. And it happens under lateral compression at convergent plate boundaries. Convergent plate boundaries, extreme pressure, fold mountains will be formed because of this process. If you see in appearance, they typically appear as long, narrow belts of high rugged ranges. They are often found in continental margins facing ocean. Okay. So this is what you need to know. Now, what are the block mountains? This is another concept. See, what we will do is in the mapping portion only, we will discuss a lot of static concepts as well, so that there is an interlinkage. And majority of the portions are covered. Block mountains are those mountains that develop between faults due to tectonic forces, like our fold mountains only. They sharply differ from the fold mountains which form by bending and folding of rock layers. Here, the construction of block mountain is because of pulling force, not by compression. ठीक है? Pulling force है खींचना. This is the reason to form the block mountain. Compression है दोनों squeeze कर रहे हैं किसी चीज को. We are pressing hard. So if we will press, it will become fold mountain. If we will try to elongate, then what will become? It will become block mountain. This is the basic difference between fold and block mountain. So our Aravali is one of the oldest fold mountain of the world. You see, it is in northwestern India. Extent is that it is approximately 670 kilometers from Delhi to Ahmedabad. It covers states like Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, And the alignment is southwest. You can see, right? From this is the alignment. This is southwest. Now I told you that if Aravali is not there, Delhi will become desert because it is the line which is separating the Thar desert from the eastern Rajasthan plains. You must have heard about districts like Hanumangarh, etc., Bharatpur, and all these regions. If Aravali is inundated, if Aravali is not saved, it will have lots of. You must have seen the dust storms that come frequently in cities like Agra, Delhi. The reason is the Thar desert, the wind that flows from Thar. That's the biggest reason. That's why you will feel that when you will live in Delhi, it is comparatively dustier. From the cities like Mumbai or Bengaluru, in those cities, mostly the dust is construction dust. Now, Rajasthan as a state is divided by it. Northwest area is a sandy desert region, and southeast plateau is a fertile region. So, if you think the entire Rajasthan is a desert, Rajasthan has different kinds of geographical features. It has mountains as well. If you have gone to Mount Abu, if you have gone to Udaipur, it is called as city of lakes, very beautiful city. When you go to Jaisalmer, it is you will see the deserts and the beauty. And when you come to the regions like the Bharatpur and all, you will see the fertile regions as well. You will go to Ajmer, you will see a lot of quarrying activities, etc. It's a nearby areas of Ajmer. So it has a lot of diversity in terms of geography. If you think that the entire Rajasthan is a desert or there is a water scarcity in the entire region, you will be surprised when you will visit the Jaipur. Specifically the forts you will visit, the bigger forts, you will see that in front of that there are lots of greeneries and lakes. It's a very beautiful and diverse state with a deep cultural root. Okay. Then with the 6 to 60 miles, it varies. Somewhere it is very, very narrow. Average elevation is from 1000 to 3000 feet, and Guru Shikhar is the highest peak. Hill stations, as I told you, Mount Abu is a beautiful hill station. And Aravalis are divided also into Sambar Sirohi range, Sambar Khetri range. Khetri is something which I had discussed in the ancient history video as well. Khetri is very, very important in the Indus Valley uh, sites as well and Indus Valley time as well for the trade that used to happen. So Khetri mines are a group of copper ore mines. It is a very significant and one of the oldest mines. It is extending roughly from the Singhana in the north to the Raghunathgarh in the south, the Khetri mines. And if you see the Kolhin, Banwa, Chandmari, Kolhin, these are the places with total reserves of tens of millions of tons of copper. So this is what you need to know. Geological age, ऐसे तो you don't need to go very deep into these eras, but you must have heard certain names. Now you must have watched movies like Jurassic Park. That's a movie that you must have watched it. So now Proterozoic era, it is the younger part of the Precambrian era, spanning from about 2.5 billion years ago to 541 million years ago. So you can imagine how old they are. In this era only the key oxygenation event happened or oxygen crisis. Okay. When photosynthetic cyanobacteria began raising oxygen levels in the atmosphere and the oceans and eukaryotic cells evolved. So this is what you need to know. It is part of the Indian shield and formation, it formed due to tectonic plate collision. Coming together of two plates are there, they collided and thus this formed. It is highly eroded in the present time due to weathering, and I told you why it is happening: illegal mining and construction and the greed of specifically human being. You can find copper. We heard about Khetri mines, but there are other minerals as well. Zinc, lead, marbles, as I told you. Marbles are extensively acquired from this region. I'm forgetting the exact name of the particular place, which is very, very famous for marbles in Rajasthan. And you can see not only that it is very, very important for minerals, etc., but you see there are a lot of rivers. I'm trying to zoom in so that you can see it clearly. I'm trying to zoom in more. Okay. You can see this is our beautiful Sambar Lake. This is the river Luni. Okay. Kheri River. This is Banas River. This is Som. This is Sabarmati River. Sukri River. These are dams. Gandhi Sagar Dam, Rana Pratap Sagar Dam. This is the famous Chambal which flows through your educational hub, Kota. Kota is, often the people of Kota are called as Chambal Walo. Okay. Chambal, you must have heard the Chambal ke Daku, the Bihad, the bad topography. You must have watched the movies like Pan Singh Tomar, etc. And the Bandit Queen, Fulan Devi. So all of this you must have heard. We have reservoirs as well, like Kadana reservoirs, Mahi reservoirs. Okay. Let's see the rivers that flows from it. I will zoom out 1 second. So river system, it mostly are westward flowing. Important river, one of the most important river is Luni River. Now, Luni River is a very, very important and has been asked in the PYQs as well. It ends in the run of Kutch. Now, Luni River is the largest and one of the major rivers in the Thar desert region of western Rajasthan. It also flows southwest from the Aravali range, southwest, and ends in the Marsi run of Kutch in Gujarat. Again, a very beautiful place, run of Kutch. It originates from the Naga Hills on the western slope of Aravali range near Ajmer, often cited as the Pushkar Valley. Pushkar is one of the places, I think, if I'm not wrong about my knowledge of mythology, it is the only place where the temple of Lord Brahma is there. If I am not wrong. After joining the Saraswati from Pushkar Lake at Govindgarh, it is known as the Luni River. Initially, it is called as Sagarmati River. So, sab Sagarmati mein the river Saraswati will merge, then it will become Luni River. It flows about 500 kilometers through Ajmer, Nagaur, Nagori Chai, Nagori Halwa. You must have heard these names, right? Pali, Jodhpur, Barmer, and Jalore before entering the run of Kutch. Luni is ephemeral river. This is the exact statement of PYQs. Because it is heavily dependent on because it goes and ends in run of Kutch. It is not entering the ocean. It is called as ephemeral because of it. That's the reason. And it is seasonal because it is heavily dependent on monsoon rains. The reason. Its water is fresh in the upper reaches, but as it goes to the lower reaches, it becomes more and more saline as it crosses the desert. That's why the name in Sanskrit was Lavanavari or a Lavanagiri, salt river, Lavana. If you see the major left bank tributaries include Liliri, Bandi, Guhia, Sukri, Javai, and Sagi. The Jojri is the main right bank tributary. Okay? And there are important dams also built on Luni River, like the Dantaliwada, Sipu Dam, Javai Dam, and Sardar Samand Dam are built on the Luni River. So this is what you need to know. West, it is saline in the lower reaches, ephemeral, and ends in the run of Kutch. Okay, and it is the lifeline of Thar Desert. That's why I went so deep into it. Now let's see the another important rivers. That's how we will interconnect. We will not keep it like only rivers, 5, 10 rivers we will study together. If something is in current affairs, maybe they will not ask just Aravali ranges, they will go into the rivers that are emitting from Aravali ranges. Sabarmati River, you must have heard the Sabarmati Ashram in the history. We read about it. It is the place where our great Mahatma Gandhi ji used to reside. Before starting the civil disobedience movement or Salt Satyagraha, he failed to achieve what he desired, and that is why he never returned to Sabarmati because it was his pledge. And then he shifted to Wardha Ashram. Wardha is a beautiful place in our state of Maharashtra. So it drains into the Gulf of Khambat. So English may people say Cambe as well. It flows through Rajasthan and Gujarat, and it is especially a lifeline of cities like Ahmedabad. The old name of Ahmedabad is different. The history of Ahmedabad is somewhat also important. It originates in the Aravali range near Udaipur district. Udaipur is a very it is called a city of lake, and there are palaces as well. From a village called as Tepur. Tepur is a village. It flows about 371 kilometer in southwest direction, and then it empties itself into Gulf of Khambat. So this is what you need to know with respect to the Sabarmati river. We will read other small rivers as well, like Sahibi River. It becomes Najafgarh drain in Delhi. Najafgarh is famous for one of India's finest cricketers, Virendra Sehwag. He comes from Najafgarh. Okay. The tributaries of Sahibi River is Dohan River, Sota River, Krishnavati River. It flows through Rajasthan and Haryana. Then very important rivers. One of the very important river for your prelims examination is Chambal River. Chambal is lifeline of many places. It is one of the most important tributaries of the Yamuna River in the central and northern India, and it forms a part of the greater Gangetic drainage system. It is known for its deep ravines, gorges, and rich biodiversity. Oh, ravines is the reasons. Bad topography. You can see that now there are small uh, upraised hills, and the lands are also very zigzag kind of. That's why the erstwhile time the dacoits used to go and reside there. There are so many dacoits which once dreaded in that area. Okay, and it is also known for National Chambal Sanctuary, and the Chambal originates from the Singar Chauri Janapau Peak in the northern slopes of the Vindhya range near Mahov in Indore district, Madhya Pradesh. Indore is again one of the cleanest. It comes at number 1 mostly in the Swachh Bharat ranking, and it is the place of Devi Ahilyabai. Ahilyabai Holkar is very important for your this year examination as well. It flows about for 960 to 965 kilometer first through the north of Madhya Pradesh, then northeast through Rajasthan. It flows past cities like Kota, and then in the MP-UP borders as well before joining the Yamuna at Pachnada near the Bhare in Etawah district, Uttar Pradesh. The Chambal has both a right bank and left bank tributaries. Major right bank tributaries are Parvati River, Kali Sindh, Shipra, and Parban River. Left bank are Banas River, Mej River. Okay. The river cuts through hard Vindhyan rocks, creating gorges, ravines, and badlands, especially in the lower reaches, which are prone to soil erosion. Okay. Now, the Shipra River, why it is important? Why it is important for your prelims examination? The Shipra River is a sacred river, extremely sacred river. Why so? It passes through Ujjain. And Ujjain is a site which is very culturally important because of the Kumbh. You must be knowing about different terms, Ardh Kumbh, Purna Kumbh. Prayag is one place. There is a Haridwar. Then we have Ujjain. These are the places where Kumbh takes place. It's a large gathering, large have it perhaps in terms of sociology, it is one of the largest and most important tool for having social solidarity in terms of the Hindu and Sanatan civilization. It has a great importance and it attracts a lot of eyeballs across the world. It is one of its kind in the entire world. There is no parallel of the Kumbh Mela in any of the society in the world. Okay, so this is what you need to know. Now, Andes is very important for your prelims examination. It has been already asked even in the year 2025 as well, and in the past also, since it is very long. That is why it is very important. Let me zoom in first so that you can see the map clearly, even through mobile. I think I zoomed in a lot. 1 second. Now I think it is clearly visible. So Andes mountain forms the world's longest continental mountain range, world's longest. And it is located in the western edge. You see, it is in the western edge. Entire South America, it is running through the western edge of South America. And it runs through the 7 countries. It starts, you see, this is the edge of Venezuela. It is touching the Venezuela also. Okay. Then we have Colombia, very famous. Colombia is famous for two things majorly. One, the football. We have one of the finest footballers coming from this country, like James Rodriguez, etc. And the pop stars and the models that come across the world from this particular place, Colombia. Venezuela was so much in news. We'll read about Venezuela a bit more, but Venezuela was so much in news because of what was done by the United States. It is famous for all the reserves that it has. Then it goes through Ecuador. Okay. After going through Ecuador, it goes through Peru. Peru is a very beautiful place. Very beautiful place. Then it passes through Bolivia. Then Chile. Chile is very famous for their copper and other resources. Again, it is very famous for football as well. We have great players coming from here, from Chile. And then you can see the Argentina. Argentina is 8th largest country in the world in terms of area. It's a mammoth country. It's not a small country. Okay. And Argentina is famous for the one of the greatest footballers, Lionel Messi, Diego Maradona. Okay. I'm just giving you all of this fact so that you can memorize. Now your question will be, does it pass through Brazil? This is the PYQ that was asked. I will show you. First, I am trying to show you the map. Is it passing through Brazil? No. So if they are including Brazil in the option, there is a tendency that you will choose Brazil because Brazil is very large country, very big country. And here you will commit the wrong. That shouldn't be the approach. We have already seen which all countries the Andes mountain is passing. The highest peak in the Andes mountain is Mount Aconcagua. That is in Argentina. In Argentina, Mount Aconcagua is the highest range. It is about 6,961 meters, the tallest in the Western Hemisphere, because all the tallest ones are in the Himalayas that are in the Eastern Hemisphere, from the Great Mount Everest to the Karakoram to Kanchenjunga to the Nanga Parvat and all of these. Now, world's highest volcanoes are also in the Andes. The most notable is Ozos de Salado, which forms the Chile-Argentina border. Olos de Salado. It is recognized as the world's highest active volcano. Now, if you see one of the greatest not the greatest, but the most interesting accidents. Interesting, I'm using purposely with accident, which is not interesting, but one of the greatest survival stories that have come from the flight accidents have come from this region. One of the greatest survival story, how people survived without food and how they lived. There are greatest stories. I don't want to go deep into it, but you can just Google it. You will know the one of the greatest survival stories after the aeroplane accidents in these ranges. So these are the people of these countries have a huge amount of survival instincts, and also they live their life to the fullest. You will see them, and you will also find one of the best quality fruits in this South America. It's a beautiful place, and I wish you all of the people who are watching my video should go to this beautiful place. The region also is further subdivided the dry Andes, which goes through the Chile, Bolivia, and the northwest Argentina. Then we have tropical Andes, which is there in the Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Venezuela. It is the region where tropical Andes is there. And wet Andes when it almost ends the southern Chile and the Argentina, this region. And Andes are the product of the collision between the two plates. One was the Nazca plate, which was oceanic, and the South American plate, which was continental. It is a classic fold mountain chain. That's why there is a frequent earthquakes and volcanism in this region, and they are extremely important for water resources, biodiversity. We have indigenous cultures as well in this region, like Huichihua and Aymara. Okay. So this is what you need to know. Let's see the PYQ as well. Let me zoom out. Consider the following countries: Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, and Venezuela. And these mountains pass through how many of the above countries? So we can answer it right. Venezuela, yes. Ecuador, yes. Okay. Bolivia, yes. Colombia, yes. Peru is not mentioned here. So we have option C, that is only 4 is correct. Venezuela, Ecuador, Bolivia, Colombia. These are the countries which are mentioned. It doesn't pass through Brazil, right? As we have already seen in the answer. Okay, so it doesn't pass through Brazil. This is something which you need to know. And also, we haven't seen that it passes through the Paraguay as well. Okay, it also doesn't pass through the Paraguay. Which all countries it passes through? Again, we will revise it. Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina. Acting as the spine of the continent. It is called as the spine of the continent. Okay. So Andes Mountains are one of the largest continental mountain ranges in the world. The Andes Mountain passes through Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Colombia, Chile, and Argentina. ये गलत नहीं होना चाहिए. Brazil does not lie with the Andes mountain range, and the Andes does not pass through Paraguay. Paraguay lies east of the Andes on the Paraguayan plateau. We have two countries now with the name which is almost sinking, rhyming, Uruguay and Paraguay. Okay, these both the countries are in the South America. This is Uruguay, right? Again, very famous for footballers like Luis Suarez and other players. Okay, one of the significant countries of South America. Now, another very, very important topic is lakes of the world. Often, every year they are asking you one question from the lakes of the world. The first, which we will read, and it has come again and again, that is Dead Sea. Also called the Salt Sea. Dead Sea is a landlocked. Let's see the map. Okay, let me zoom in. 1 second. This is the Dead Sea, right? So it is landlocked, hypersaline, very high salinity is there in the southwestern Asia, lying at the border between the Jordan. Jordan is in the east, right? Israel, we have Israel, and West Bank to the west. It is not a sea. You can see it is not a sea in the oceanic sense, but a salt lake in the Jordan Rift Valley. Okay, so this is what you need to know. Let's read some of the facts about the Dead Sea. It is Earth's lowest elevation on the land. Earth's lowest elevation on the land, not on the ocean. Okay, this is what you need to know. And let's see, you because of the salinity, you almost float in here. That is why it is always in news, and tourist poses videos and everything. You must have seen in the social media as well. See this. This is the pictographic thing which should be in your mind. We have RLC. It has been asked in the PYQs in 2018 also. Now, first we will, I think the map is not there, but I will try to make you visualize it. RLC has almost dried up, and it was lying between the Kazakhstan in the north and Uzbekistan in the south. Okay, it is lying between the both. It is the former saltwater lake in the Central Asia. It is now one of the most famous example of environmental disaster. That is something which, if you talk about the RLC basins, and then basin will have 5 Central Asian republics: Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. Why it is shrinking? From the 1960s, large-scale Soviet irrigation schemes were launched. It diverted water from the Amu Darya and Sir Darya for cotton and rice cultivation. That drastically reduced the inflow from the RLC. As inflow fell, the sea lost more than half of its area and 2/3 of its volume, and its salinity increased sharply. That killed the native fish species and collapsing the local fishing industry. The exposed former lake bed has turned into a salt desert called as Aralkum. अब ये salt desert बन चुका है. Climate in the region has become more extreme, hotter summers and colder winters. So ये question था, which of the following has have shrunk immensely, dried up in the recent past due to the human activities? The options were RLC, Black Sea, Lake Baikal. The answer was RLC. Very important. अब थोड़ा सा मैप देख लेते हैं. लेट मी जूम इन ऑफ अफ्रीकन ग्रेट लेक्स. दे आर आस्किंग मोर एंड मोर क्वेश्चंस ऑन अफ्रीकन ग्रेट लेक्स. सो दिस इज द लेक तुर्काना. थोड़े थोड़े फैक्ट्स भी हम साथ साथ को वी विल ट्राई टू सी. ओके, सो दैट नो वी आर प्रिपेयरिंग along with the visual memory. ठीक है, visual memory works well in terms of mapping. तो लेक तुर्काना को previously the name was Lake Rudolph. It is a large alkaline saline lake in the eastern arm of the East African Rift Valley. It is often called as the Jade Sea. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? जेड सी. अब आप देखो, द लेक तुर्काना है, ये है केनिया. सो केनिया का नॉर्दर्न पार्ट, नॉर्दर्न केनिया, एंड इट एक्सटेंड्स टिल इथोपिया. हमारा ये इथोपिया है, ये नॉर्दर्न केनिया है. ओके, सो देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी काइंड ऑफ अ कंफ्यूजन. लेक तुर्काना starts from northern Kenya, and ये southern, almost western part of Ethiopia, it extends. Okay, it is Africa's 4th largest lake and the world's largest permanent desert and alkaline lake. This is a very important fact. और ये एंडोएरिक है, that is closed basin. Water enters but has no outlet. There is no outlet. So it shrinks or expands depending on a climate and inflow. There is an important river, the Omo River. Omo River is in Ethiopia. Supplies most of the water of Lake Turkana, with only minor seasonal streams from the drier Kenyan side. So ये mainly Omo River from Ethiopia supplies the water. Despite harsh desert surroundings, it supports a rich ecosystem including the Nile perch, Nile tilapia, and the world's largest concentration of Nile crocodiles. ठीक है. It is also famous as cradle of humankind, where important early human fossils, Homo habilis, Homo rudolfensis, were discovered. इसलिए this is important. अगर हम we want to summarize it, Lake Turkana, Rift Valley, saline alkaline lake in northern Kenya, tip into Ethiopia, Africa's fourth largest lake, largest permanent desert and alkaline lake, Omo River inflow, UNESCO linked Lake Turkana, national parks are there, major site for human evolution fossils. Now we will read about Lake Kyoga. What we will read about Lake Kyoga. Lake Kyoga, we spell it sometimes as Kyoga as well, is a large, shallow freshwater lake in the central Uganda. ये Uganda है, central Uganda में we have Lake Kyoga. And it just lies north of the Lake Victoria, which is very, very important for our examination and is fed by the Victoria Nile. And it flows towards Lake Albert. Yeah, Lake Albert. Okay. It is very shallow. The maximum depth is about 5.7 meter. And with most of the area have less depth, like 3-4 meters. The Victoria Nile flows through Lake Kyoga on its way from Lake Victoria to Lake Albert, acting as a natural regulator of the flow in the upper Nile stream. और यहाँ पे over 40 fish species are there. Major activities around the lake is fishing only. Okay. Now let's read about Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is very, very important. Very important. So Lake Victoria is the largest lake in Africa by surface area. Surface area se largest lake is Lake Victoria in Africa. And the world's largest tropical freshwater lake. It is shared by Uganda, countries yaad kar lo. Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. फिर से speaking, Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. It lies in the Nile River system. It feeds the Victoria Nile, that is often called as White Nile भी बोलते हैं, and is one of the African Great Lakes. ठीक है? Surface area is huge, 68,000 to 69,500 kilometer square. Huge. Lake Victoria is shallow, but average depth is about 40 meter, not as shallow as Lake Kyoga. Main river flowing into the lake is the Kagera River, with the Ruvubu as its major tributary, while the Victoria Nile flows out near Jinja, Uganda, as the headwater of the White Nile. It has humongous fish diversity. Over 200 species are found there. And it supports the world's largest freshwater fisheries, producing about 1 million tons of fish per year. Major cities on its shore includes the Kampala in Uganda. Then we have Mwanza in Tanzania and Kisumu in Kenya, making it vital for fishing, transport, agriculture, and domestic water supply. Okay. Share में बोलूं तो Uganda shares 45% approximately of it, and Tanzania 49%. Kenya has a very small share of about 6% only. Then quickly we will see other also, like Lake Albert. So Lake Albert is also known as Lake Miwitangazi or Lake Mobutu. If they are using any other name also, then it is same only. It is a freshwater lake in East Africa, lying on the border between Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Very important country. It forms the northernmost of the lakes in the Albertine Rift, western branch of East African Rift. Okay. So this is what you need to know about Lake Albert. Lake Victoria is very, very important. अब आपको लगेगा that Lake Kyoga is too. No, but it is a complex system of interconnected lakes and marshes. Okay, तो इस वजह से it seems separately. There are no two Lake Kyoga, but it has two main arms called Kyoga and Kavania. इसलिए आपको in the maps you can see two times two distinct places Lake Kyoga. Okay, this also you need to know. Then we have Lake Kivu. This is DRC. We'll read a bit about DRC also. Lake Kivu is one of the African's Great Lake, as we are reading about it, and it is sixth largest lake in Africa. Lake Kivu is meromicetic, that is layers of water that do not mix, and it contains large amount of dissolved methane and carbon dioxide and supports fisheries and tourism and hydropower. It is a major resource for both Rwanda, another important country, Kigali you must have heard, and Democratic Republic of Congo, with Rwanda's largest lake is this Lake Kivu. Bajo, let's read about Lake Tanganyika. Very difficult to even pronounce. Lake Tanganyika. Okay. So let's read about Tanganyika Lake. Yeah, Tanzania. This is the country Tanzania. So it is one of the African Great Lake, and it lies within Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Tanzania, and Zambia. Okay. It is the world's longest freshwater lake. It is so long as like it is you can see it is how long it is. See, itna long hai. 670 to 676 kilometer. It is the second deepest lake in the world. It is as deep as 1430 to 1470 meter, like more than approximately 1.5 kilometers. And the second largest by volume after Lake Baikal. Okay. Main inflows comes from the Ruzuzi River, from Lake Kivu, then Malagarasi and Kalambo, while the Lukuga River is the only major outflow into the Congo River system. Congo River system is also very, very important. We have this small Lake Rikuva as well. Then we have Lake Maveru, Lake Bangenvelu. Then an important one which we need to read a bit deeper. Lake Malawi. ठीक है इससे ज्यादा डीप यू डोंट नीड टू स्टडी व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग यू इज इतना फैक्ट्स इज नोवेयर रिटन लेक Malawi is part of our great African lake system and part of the Rift Valley as well. It is shared by Malawi, Mozambique and Tanzania. ठीक है ये रहा आपका मोजाम्बिक हमारा मोजाम्बिक चैनल भी है इधर ओके and it stretches about 560 to 580 kilometer long. Lake is about 7,600 meter deep in its maximum depth, and it ranks as third deepest freshwater lake in the world. Okay, the main inflow is the Ruhuhu River. Ruhuhu River. Okay. Lake Malawi is perhaps most famous for its fish diversity. बहुत humongous fish diversity is there. 700 to 1,000 species of fishes are found in this region. फिर हमारे पास लेक चिलवा एंड लेक करीबा भी है ओके चिलवा एंड करीबा ज्यादा डीप वी डोंट हैव टू गो इन दीज टू रिवर्स लेक चिलवा एंड करीबा ओके बट थोड़ा बहुत वी कैन स्टडी तो चिलवा इज अ शैलो एंडोरिक लेक नो आउटलेट इज देयर नो परमानेंट आउटफ्लोइंग रिवर चिलवा इज ऑल्सो शैलो एंड एंडोरिक लेक इन द साउथ ईस्ट मलावी लेक करीबा इज द वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट मैन मेड रिजर्वायर्स मैन मेड मतलब आर्टिफिशियल लेक आपको ना इन पास्ट ऑल्सो कोडाईकनाल एक्सेट्रा के बारे में दे हैड आस्क्ड कि कौन सा आर्टिफिशियल है कौन सा नेचुरल है सो लेक करीबा इज द वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट मैन मेड रिजर्वायर दिस इज अ फैक्ट ऑफ प्रीलिम्स ये फैक्ट आएगा एंड it should not become wrong because the great African lakes are most important for your examination complex system that's why I went so deep into it there is a reason where I will go deep समझ लो this is very important already PYQ आ चुका है consider the following water bodies lake Tanganyika lake Tonle Sap and Potos Lagoon through how many of them does the equator pass none Lake Tanganyika is located in central Africa it is one of the deepest and oldest freshwater lake in the world geographically it lies entirely south of the equator and option 2 be incorrect Lake Tonle Sap is one of the largest freshwater lakes in Cambodia okay it is located in the central plains of Cambodia and lies at the latitude of approximately 13 degrees north of the equator and Potos Lagoon is large coastal lagoon in the southern part of Brazil. It is one of the largest lagoons in South America. It lies around 30 degrees south of the equator. तो हमें दो और लेक पता लगे. Lake Tonle Sap, which is in the Cambodia, and it is largest freshwater lake in Cambodia, and Potos Lagoon is in Brazil. Okay, both are not the lakes where from where the equator passes. ठीक है, बहुत बहुत important. ऐसे we have to learn the facts from the options also. और इंपॉर्टेंट लेक्स को फटाफट देख लेते हैं, फटाफट वाले. लेक आयरी इज इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया. लेक आयरी इज इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया. आईज, ऑल आईज ऑन ऑस्ट्रेलिया. वी कैन रिमेंबर लाइक दिस. लेक Montebel is in France. Lake Montebel is in France. Montebel. Lake Tahoe is in USA. ठीक है, Tahoe, T, Trump, USA. लेक चार्ड, चार्ड तो कंट्री है, यू मस्ट बी रिमेम्बरिंग, है ना, हमारा नॉर्दर्न अफ्रीकन पार्ट में. And it passes through not only Chad, Nigeria, Niger, and Cameroon also. Then we have Penuelas Lake. It is in Chile. We have Sava Lake in Iraq. Important है, इराक ईरान न्यूज में है. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, सी ऑफ गैलीली. सी ऑफ गैलीली, इजराइल एंड सीरिया. ये 5 स्टार लगा लो इसमें प्रीलिम्स के लिए. सी ऑफ गैलीली, दैट इज इन इजराइल एंड सीरिया. देन वी हैव लेक पुपू. लेक पुपू इज इन बोलिविया. बोलिविया में लेक पुपू. ये इस प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन के लिए, बिकॉज इट वाज सो मच इन न्यूज. लेक उर्मिया, very much in news. I can't tell you how much it is important for this year examination. So many times it came in examination. It is a shallow saline lake in the northwestern Iran, in the Iranian Azerbaijan region, near the border with Armenia and south of the Caspian Sea. ठीक है, it is quite shallow. 5 मीटर के आसपास is the depth. Lake is highly saline. ठीक है, about 1/4 as salty as Dead Sea. Dead Sea is the most. According to satellite data, the lake has shrunk by roughly 90 to 95%. So immensely dried में ये भी, if UPSC is saying, will come. The lake and it has more than 50 small islands, and they were designated as Urmia Lake National Park and recognized as protected wetland to support wildlife such as birds and migratory species. ठीक है, तो it is a shallow endorheic salt lake in the northwest Iran, largest in Middle East. श्रंक हो चुका है, heavily shrunk 90 to 95% due to dam, irrigation and droughts. Very important, Lake Urmia. Then we have Hamun Lake in Iran-Afghanistan border. Hamun Lake. Then we have Razazza Lake in Iraq. Then we have Lake Assal in Djibouti. Djibouti बहुत important. Horn of Africa, you must have heard. What consists of Horn of Africa? How many countries are in Horn of Africa? ऐसे interconnected we will study. ऐसे नहीं कि Horn of Africa we are studying and then we are studying. ऐसे we will not be enjoying this lecture. So it is usually defined to include 4 main countries. One has Somalia. Our president of USA, Mr. Donald Trump, always saying something or another thing about Somalia. Pirates. You must have seen that movie, Pirates of Caribbean. Jack Sparrow. Then Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Djibouti. Djibouti was also in news because of the Chinese occupancy and Chinese prisons. Djibouti. Okay. So this is called as Horn of Africa, and both famous and because it stretches into the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and Indian Ocean. And the Red Sea was also so much in news because of the attacks. Okay. Somali is a peninsula. So this is what you need to know. Then we have Lake Faguebine. Lake Faguebine in a country called Mali. Lake Titicaca. Titicaca is something which has been asked in 20-30 years old PYQs. You can see this name, and in state PCS it comes again and again. It is the highest large freshwater lake in the world and one of South America's most important Andean lakes. It lies in the Andean Altiplano, high plateau on the border between Peru in the west and Bolivia in the east. Okay, that is why it is very, very important. It contains over 40 islands. 40 islands. It is also world's highest navigable large lake. World's highest navigable large lake. कहाँ है? पेरू एंड बोलिविया में. Then we have Lake Mead in USA, Owens Lake and Great Salt Lake. All these are in USA. We have a Salt Lake Stadium in Kolkata as well. Lake Abinur and Lake Poyang, both are in China. Lake Abinur and Poyang. Poyang, so you can guess also with the name. Then we have Lake Suchitalan, which is in El Salvador. We have Lake Garda, is in Italy. Lake Baikal, very important Lake Baikal, which is in Russia. Why it is important? Because of some of the important facts which are related to Lake Baikal. What are those facts? Okay, Victoria we have already read. Lake Baikal is the deepest, oldest and largest freshwater lake by volume in the world. It lies in the Baikal Rift zone. Lake Baikal holds about 20 to 23% of all the unfrozen fresh water on Earth's surface. Can you imagine? It is also the oldest lake on Earth, estimated to be about 25 to 30 million years. This is why it is important. Yeah. Lake Victoria we already see, and it is in Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania. Then we have Lake Oguta, which is in Nigeria. RLC we already see, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Dead Sea, Jordan, Israel, West Bank. Pyramid Lake is in US, Walker Lake is in US, and Salton Sea is in US, Mono Lake is in USA. We already see Lake Tanganyika, which is part of Tanzania, Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia and Burundi. ठीक है, ये है मैप्स, देख सकते हो. लेक विक्टोरिया, तुर्कान, लेक टाना, लेक चाड, लेक तंगानिका, लेक नेगासा, अफ्रीका में. एंड हियर वी हैव आरएल सी ऑलमोस्ट ड्राइड अप, लेक बल्कस, लेक बाइकॉल, लेक लाडोगा एंड कैस्पियन सी, एंड लेक वैमन. There, America, we have Great Lakes, Great Salt Lake. There you can see Slave Lake, Athabasca, Great Bear Lake, then Lake Titicaca. Okay, this is the Tropic of Capricorn that is passing. It will help you to analyze things as well. For this year examination, we have another thing which has become very, very important because of this one, Strait of Hormuz. The blockade of Strait of Hormuz and all the scuffles and perhaps kind of a war which is going on. This is our Strait of Hormuz. Very, very important for specifically the energy trade. Very, very important. Okay. This is Bandar Abbas. This is our Iran. This is Bandar Elang. This is Oman. Okay. And this is, you can see, Iran. That's why they can control it, na? Because of their presence. This is United Arab Emirates. This is Gulf of Oman. This is Persian Gulf. This is our Strait of Hormuz. Now, what is strait? It is a narrow water passage connecting two large water bodies. दो large water bodies होंगी, उनको narrow water passage जो करेगा. देखिए यहाँ पे क्या, Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman को it is connecting. Narrow water body. It is, that's why it is called as strait. It can connect two seas, oceans, or two large water bodies, and mostly it is found on the basis of natural formation is there. It is a narrow but navigable water channel, and it is important for global trade. It consists mostly in choke points for naval movement and strategic control. And it also helps in ocean currents passing through straits, influence regional climate, commercial, तो है ही, critical choke points for international trade and energy transport. Gulf or strait, what is the difference? So it is a portion of sea penetrating the land. Sea जब land में penetrate करता है, that is called as Gulf. It connects the land and sea. It is mostly natural and comparatively larger compared to strait, and it is suitable for harbors and ports. Okay. We have example like Gulf of Mannar, Persian Gulf, etc. And here we have Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Malacca. अब फटाफट से ना important states की list देख लेते हैं. Strait of Malacca, so much important because of Strait of Hormuz was going out of hand. So it was often in news that America will try to control the Strait of Malacca. This was very much in news. So it connects the Andaman Sea and South China Sea. South China Sea you see always in news. Location is Indonesia, Malaysia, and it is very, very important. Then we have Park Strait. That is between Park Bay and Bay of Bengal. You can see if you have gone to the places like Rameshwaram, etc. Go to that place. It's a very, very beautiful place, and our place of the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, one of the greatest scientists and greatest statesmen of the country. Okay? So India, Sri Lanka ka kind of a border region. This is Sunda Strait. Sunda Strait is between the connects the Java Sea and the Indian Ocean in Indonesia. Then we have Yucatan Strait, which connects the Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean Sea. Mexico, Cuba. Cuba was also so much in news. You must have heard the names like Fidel Castro, Che Guevara, and because of the Venezuela incident that happened, again they were in the news. Fidel Castro had a very good relationship with the people in India, specifically people like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, etc., etc. And we have state of Messina in the Mediterranean waters, and it is between Italy and Sicily. You must have heard, na? Sicily, Lombardy, world history. If you have read, you must have heard these names, right? Then we have Strait of Otranto, between connects the Adriatic Sea and Ionian Sea between Italy and Albania. This is important. Bab el Mandab, Red Sea and Gulf of Aden between Yemen and Djibouti, Horn of Africa. We were reading, na? This was so much in news. We have Cook Strait in the South Pacific water, North and South Islands, New Zealand. It connects. Mozambique Channel. We were seeing, then we were talking about the Mozambique Channel when we were seeing the lakes in Indian Ocean waters. Connects the Mozambique and Madagascar and Mascarenes Island in Indian Oceans. The North Channel in Irish Sea and Atlantic Ocean, Ireland and UK. The Torres Strait, which is in Arafura Sea and Gulf of Papua, connects the Australia and PNG. Bass Strait, Tasman Sea and Southern Ocean in Australia. I must have heard about Hobart. Matches होते थे हमारे ना in the past. Climates will be entirely different होता था. Australia is the mammoth country. Then we have Bering Strait, Bering Sea and Chukchi Sea in Alaska and Russia. Then we have Strait of Bonifacio in Mediterranean Sea, connecting the Corsica and Sardinia. Again, Sardinia was in world history. Bosporus Strait, very important. Black Sea and Sea of Marmara, Turkey. Dardanelles Strait, again very important. Aegean Sea and Sea of Marmara, Turkey. We have Davis Strait, Baffin Bay and Atlantic Ocean, Greenland, Canada. Greenland बहुत important है. So Davis Strait is also important. Baffin Bay and Atlantic Ocean. Then we have Denmark Strait, connects the Arctic Ocean and Atlantic Ocean, Greenland, Iceland region. Then Strait of Dover, English Channel and North Sea. England, France, don't go with that. England is there, then the sea must be very calm. North Sea is a very, very a sea which is very violent and very difficult to navigate. That's why swimming also is very difficult here. Then Florida Straits, as the name says, Florida is in USA, so Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic Ocean, USA, Cuba. Strait of Hormuz, so we have seen. Hudson Strait is also Hudson Bay and Atlantic Ocean and the regions of Canada. Strait of Gibraltar, Mediterranean Sea and Atlantic Ocean, Spain and Morocco. Very important, very, very important. Strait of Magellan, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Chile. Makassar Strait, Java Sea and Celebes Sea, Indonesia. Tsugaru Strait, Sea of Japan and Pacific Ocean, Hokkaido, Honshu. These are islands, right? Hokkaido, Honshu. Tatar Strait, Sea of Japan and Sea of Okhotsk, Russia. We have Fokyok Strait, South Pacific waters, South Island and Stewart Island. Then Taiwan Strait, South China Sea and East China Sea, China, Taiwan region. Then we have Korea Strait, East China Sea and Sea of Japan, South Korea region. Jamaica, we have West Indies. Jamaica, the Caribbean Sea and North Atlantic. Jamaica, Hispaniola. Chris Gale say, try to remember it. 10-degree channel. It is in our Andaman Sea and Bay of Bengal. Little Andaman or Car Nicobar ke beech mein. Then English Channel, Atlantic Ocean and North Sea, UK and France. Kerch Strait, Black Sea and Sea of Azov. Crimea, Russia, very, very important. Very, very important. Lombok Strait, Java Sea and Indian Ocean, Bali, Lombok. Bali Strait, Bali Sea and Indian Ocean. Very, very famous na, among Indian tourists. चलो इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट्स देख लेते हैं स्टेट्स के रिगार्डिंग. स्टेट ऑफ मलाका, वन ऑफ द बिजिएस्ट शिपिंग रूट्स इन द वर्ल्ड. स्टेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज, क्रिटिकल ऑयल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन चौक पॉइंट. बाब एल मंदब connects Red Sea to Indian Ocean trade route. State of Gibraltar, gateway between Atlantic and Mediterranean. Bosphorus and Dardanelles, strategic access between Black Sea and Mediterranean. 10-degree channel separates Andaman and Nicobar Island groups. Isthmus क्या होता है? Isthmus is a narrow strip of land connecting two larger land masses. ठीक है? Sea or ocean on both sides. An example is Isthmus of Panama that connects the North America and South America. Now your favorite topic and very important. It bothers you a lot as well. Places in news. So our first place in news is Greenland. Let me zoom in for you. Yes. So this is our Greenland. So much in news. What we need to know for this examination is, see, Greenland is a critical topic for this year examination, and it is world's largest non-continental island. Non-continental island, world's largest, which is situated between the Arctic and Atlantic Ocean. We have Atlantic Oceans, we have Arctic Ocean. Between that, there is Greenland. If you see, it has a vast ice sheet, and it is the second largest in the world. You can understand how important it is for our environment. It has a strategic location. Greenland is significant due to its position in the there is a term which is called a GIUK gap. What is GIUK gap? That is Greenland, Iceland, United Kingdom, which are very important for your maritime and surveillance operations. Now, there is a constant tussle between President Donald Trump and the Russian Premier Vladimir Putin and China regarding the Arctic influence, including the interest in the Northern Sea route and security infrastructure like the Thule Air Base. So because of that, it has become very, very important. While it is an autonomous territory under the Kingdom of Denmark, its strategic value often leads to intense global interest regarding its mineral wealth. And jahan mineral hai, wahan USA hai. This is the thing which you must be knowing now after reading a lot. So this is very, very important. Greenland holds some rare earth elements like neodymium, like disoprosium. So this is something which is very, very important. Traditional resources also are there like gold and nickel, which are essential for global supply chain. So Greenland that is why has become very, very important. And this is the Baffin Bay. Here is Canada. Here is Iceland. Okay. I hope now you understood. Let's see. Recently, Denmark's Prime Minister dismissed US suggestion regarding the annexation of Greenland. So Mr. Trump wants to annex every piece of land which has mineral resources and other things. So it shares maritime borders with Canada in the west, Iceland to the southeast. This is Iceland. And Norway via Jan Mayen. Now, what is Jan Mayen? This is also something which should make you intriguing. So, the Jan Mayen is a remote Norwegian volcanic island. It is a remote Norwegian volcanic island in the Arctic Ocean. And it lies at approximately 600 kilometers northeast of Iceland. Its shape is also spoon shaped. It is spoon shaped. Okay. So this is what you need to know about Jan Mayen. It is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. Captain is Nuuk. Then we have Pituffik Space Base, formerly known as Thule Air Base. It is the US Space Force's northernmost base, critical for missile warning and satellite tracking. This is what you need to know about Greenland. Beyond this is not required. Now, a very important conflict zone. US, Israel, Iran war. US controlled bases. You must be wondering why the Iran is trying to bomb places like UAE or Kuwait or Bahrain or Qatar. Why so? You see, these red, no small. Let me zoom in. Okay, 1 second. So these red no, circles you are seeing, these are US military bases. Okay, see, yeah, you see in Qatar also we have, in United Arab Emirates also we have, and these yellow circles are other sites with US military presence. So you can see US military presence in Saudi Arabia as well, in Oman as well. You can see in Jordan also there is a military presence. Iraq, you can see here as well. Israel, not only in Israel, you can see near Gaza also. So this is the reason they see in Iraq they have, in Syria also they have military presence. So because of that, there was huge bombing that was done on these places as well by Iran. They are not just simply playing with guns and all. They are targeting the bases of US from where they launch any kind of operations. The operation that they had launched. Okay. So this is Iran, very big country. You can see the area of Iran is roughly twice of what is the area of Iraq. And this is the Saudi Arabia. Constantly, if you will see, Saudi Arabia and Iran are in tussle to have a kind of a supremacy with respect to the this region, the Arab world, who will become the number one. In the recent time, because of the Iran stance, it has taken a lead. This is Yemen. Okay. And you must have seen that Israel started now bombing Lebanon as well. So this is Lebanon, this is Israel. Here also the conflict started. Because Lebanon, Iran is also using to launch attacks on Israel. So all this is happening. This is the conflict zone. And here is Turkey, previously known as Turkey. So Turkey is also trying to become again the caliphate. And majority of the time you will see the stance of Turkey also going against India. So this is the game room of the present time, which has troubled the entire world. Okay. So United States and Israel carried out coordinated strikes on Iran. Now Iran has a lot of oil reserves. That prompted the Iranian retaliatory attacks on economic targets across the Gulf Cooperation Council states. These are the Gulf Cooperation Council states. And Iran is a pivotal player in the West Asian nation. So if you will see the bordering countries of Iran, which can be asked by UPSC, one is Armenia. What is Armenia? Second is Azerbaijan. Third is Turkmenistan. Fourth is Afghanistan. Fifth is Pakistan. Sixth is Iraq. And seventh is Turkey. So these many, I am repeating again. Armenia, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, and Turkey. It has coastlines on the Caspian Sea, Persian Gulf, and Gulf of Oman. You can see the presence, the mammoth presence of Iran. If you see the geography of Iran, it is dominated by the Iranian plateau. There are important deserts as well in Iran. One is Daste Kavir and second is Daste Lut. Daste Kavir and Daste Lut. Also, if you see, they have important mountain ranges as well. One of the most important is Zagros. It is not here. This is the Iran-Iraq, the borderline. This here the Zagros is there. And Mount Elborz. Mount Elborz is another one. Major rivers, one of the most important river is Karun River. It supports the irrigation. So this is what you need to know. And Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point for almost 20% of global oil trade happens through this choke point. It holds vast oil, natural gas, coal, chromium, copper, and other minerals, making it an OPEC member of. It is also a member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization and BRICS. The capital is Tehran. And there is a historical relation. If you see the ancient Persian Empire, which is called as Achaemenid, so there is a long history. Now, we have then the Safavids in 16th century. Then Islamic Revolution happened in 1979. You must have heard the name of person Ayatollah Khamenei. Okay. So this country is of immense importance for this year prelims, and this is what you needed to know. The Netzarim corridor is a strategic military strip established by Israel to bisect the Gaza Strip from east to west. This is important. And then second important fact is blue line. So this UN recognized demarcation line separates the Lebanon and Israel. So ये Lebanon और Israel के बीच में जो separation है, that is called as यहाँ पे Lebanon. Okay, 1 second. I am trying to show you clearly here. This is 1 second. Let me zoom in more. This is something. Okay, this is Lebanon. This is Israel. This is something called as blue line. This is blue line. Okay. So see, visual memory works well in mapping. So that is why I am zooming in things. Then we have Al-Tanf Garrison. This is a strategic US military outpost located at the tri-border of Syria, Iraq, and Jordan. Al-Tanf Garrison. Al-Tanf Garrison. This in this tripartite location, there is a US military outpost. Then we have the Bab al-Mandab Strait, which controlled via the Houthi-held territory in Yemen. Houthi also was trying to bomb. This is Yemen. Yeah, so they do bombing. Okay. Has been repeated Iranian linked missile strikes on the international shipping, forcing a major naval response from the US led Operation Prosperity Guardian. UPSC's habit of asking operations as well many a times. So that is why this is one important prelims information which I have included. Now let's see another very, very important place which was so much in news. That is Red Sea. Okay, let's zoom in and then see. Okay. So this is your Red Sea portion. This is Red Sea. This is Red Sea. This portion is Red Sea. Here you can see Riyadh. This is the Saudi Arabian plate. Jeddah. This is Addis Ababa. East African Rift. And this is Somalian plate. यहाँ से pirates they attack. Okay. Then we have this is Gulf of Aden. This is Gulf of Aden. And this is Asian plate. Okay. So this is your Red Sea. Now let's see the important facts with respect to the Red Sea. So Houthi attacks on commercial vessels disrupted the global oil and container traffic. So it connects the Indian Ocean, Suez Canal, and Mediterranean. समझ रहे हो? Indian Ocean, Suez Canal, and Mediterranean. So important it is. It borders Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, Djibouti, Saudi Arabia, Yemen. Basically, a Horn of Africa and these Arab countries. In सब को ये border करता है. That is why it is important. It is one of the world's warmest and highest salinity areas and a major global choke point. बाब अल मंदब स्ट्रेट जो हमने यहाँ पे देखा है ना, बाब अल मंदब स्ट्रेट is very important for your examination. 30% container shipping passes through it, 12% world trade, and 8 to 10% of oil is being transported from here. So that is why it is very, very important. Now, another conflict zone is Israel, Gaza. Okay, Gaza, part of Palestine. Yeah, we had seen this map. So this is Egypt, this is Jordan, this is Israel. Okay, this is West Bank, this is Jerusalem, this is Tel Aviv, Lebanon, Syria, Gaza. Okay. Now, if you see this region Gaza, the population density is one of the highest globally, and it is controlled by Hamas. It borders Israel, Egypt, and Mediterranean. What it borders? This is Gaza, right? This is Gaza. So it is bordering Israel, Egypt, and Mediterranean. This is Mediterranean Ocean. West Bank administrative seat is in Ramallah. Israel's capital claim is Jerusalem. This is Jerusalem. UN Resolution 242 still central in diplomatic discussion. And what is the stand of India? What is stand of India in Israel and Palestine conflict? This has been also asked in 2018. Official stand. So India, as always, maintains a balanced, long-standing position on Israel-Palestine conflict, supports a two-state solution. Two-state solution. This is a direct question of UPSC Prelims. Okay, where Palestine should become a sovereign independent state alongside Israel within secure borders. It condemns terrorism unequivocally, including the October 7 incidents, Hamas attack on Israel, while also deploring civilian casualties in Gaza and calling for immediate ceasefire, hostage release, and dialogue. Okay. India's policy dates to its early solidarity with Palestine, recognizing the PLO in 1974 and establishing full diplomatic ties with Israel only in 1992 when the PV Narasimha Rao came. Yasser Arafat was an important leader of PLO. Despite growing defense technology and economic ties with Israel, India upholds Palestinian UN membership aspirations and provide humanitarian aid to Gaza. Okay? And India abstains on select UNGA resolutions seen as unbalanced but consistently reiterates the two-state framework in forms like the UN, no, as also affirmed by our current foreign minister, Mr. Jaishankar, in parliament. Okay, so this is our official position and this is what you should know. Now, very important for this year examination is Sahel region. What is Sahel region? This is Sahel region of Africa. So, Sahel region consists of, I hope this map is visible. I will try to zoom in a bit more. I think now it would be, थोड़ा और zoom in कर लेते हैं. Yes, see. This is the Sahel region. See, Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, Sudan. So, stretching the 5,900 kilometers from Senegal to Eritrea. Okay, Senegal to Eritrea. This is Senegal. This is Eritrea. So the Sahel region is a semi-arid transitional zone in Africa, south of the Sahara Desert. And that is why it is important for your prelims examination. What has happened is constant coup in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso and terrorism. ये आ सकते हैं. They have asked about coup. 2023 याद करो. Many a times this has come in the prelims examination. So कौन सी countries are important in Sahel region? It stretches across 10 countries. Can you imagine? It stretches across 10 countries. सारी countries के नाम you don't have to remember, but it's like Mauritania, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, Sudan, etc., etc. Okay. It stretches across 10 countries, major jihadist presence, इसीलिए terrorism activities happens a lot, food insecurity hotspots, because constant conflict is happening. This is your DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, have borders with South Sudan, Central African Republic. Huh? It's a big country. This is your Eritrea. This is your Burkina Faso. This is Senegal. Now let's see. The next important country is Zambia. This is Zambia. Okay. Now let's read what are the important facts for the prelims of this year examination. So India has secured a 9,000 square kilometer block to explore copper and cobalt in Zambia. This is also a one important question in UPSC prelims with respect to the mineral resources which are present in the Africa, and 2025 maybe there was a question which was related to it. So if you see the Zambia is a landlocked country. You can see there is no sea opening. And it is bordered by 8 countries, including the Democratic Republic of Congo, okay, Tanzania, Malawi, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, and Angola. It has a high plateau, and there is a Zambezi River, which dominates this country, hosting Victoria Falls, which is world's widest waterfall and forming part of the southern border. Here, there are some rivers as well, like Kafue and Luangwa. Kafue and Luangwa. Economy, if you see, the copper mining drives the 70% of exports from the copper belt. So, copper ka, this is a very important place. There are places like Kitwe. Kitwe is a very important place. And it is world's 7th largest producer of copper. It is vulnerable to price fluctuations as well. And in terms of agriculture, we have maize, tobacco. Tourism also is very important part of the economy. Okay. So these are the important things. It is the world's 2nd largest copper producer. Okay. World's 2nd largest, not 7th largest. There are different reports with respect to the copper production. The older report says 7th. Some reports are saying 2nd largest. Okay, so please verify this this statement that copper's largest producer. Since producer ranking changes, the reserves will remain same until there is some kind of a new resource which is being found. Like the earlier ranking was that Chile is the number one. Earlier ranking was that Chile is the number one in terms of production, and then Democratic Republic of Congo, Peru, China, USA, and this was at the 7th number. But some reports are saying that it has come to the 2nd ranking after Democratic Republic of Congo. No matter what, is very important is that it is one of the largest producer of the copper. And UPSC, when they will ask you something in prelims, so majority of the time they will give wrong ranking as well, if they are giving at all. The climate is tropical savanna. Now see, savanna climate is again, see, हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We will try to see things साथ के साथ. Together we will try to do all the things, so that in the future we don't have any kind of a problem. I say alag they are not asking questions. So savanna climate is also called as tropical wet and dry climate. यहाँ पे the distinct wet summer is there and dry winter seasons. It supports open grassland with scattered trees. Okay. There are dry seasons, and it is found 8 degree to 20 degree from equator in Africa. Countries like Sudan and East Africa has this kind of climate. Okay. Zambia, South America mein, we have grasslands, etc. Llanos. Even in India, if you see that some portion of Deccan Plateau has this kind of the elephants you will see in this type of climate. There are tall grasses which are called as elephant grasses, and they are drought resistant trees. They are prone to fires and desertification and supports wildlife migration. Agriculture relies on pastoralism and maize. So basically, they had asked why there are not big trees. So we have such a big elephants, etc. So they will not allow the trees to grow, and then they are prone to fires, etc. as well. Rainfall का भी issue है. This was a question in the PYQ. Okay. Hello. This is what we need to know. Now, another important region is Nagorno-Karabakh. Nagorno-Karabakh. Let me zoom in. I think now it is visible properly. So it is a disputed region, internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan. ये है Azerbaijan. ठीक है? This is the regions we are talking about. This red one. Okay. But historically, if they trace na route, ऐसे नहीं है. The China comes up with a map and says that 9-dash line, पूरा South China Sea is ours. So Armenia also has a dispute with respect to the historically controlled by ethnic Armenians. So it's crucial for our examination. The dispute arose in the late Soviet era when the Armenian majority enclave sought unification with Armenia. यहाँ पे क्या है? Armenian descent people are in majority in this place, sparking the 1988 to 94 war, where Armenia gained control of Nagorno-Karabakh and 7 surrounding districts. So the 2020 second Nagorno-Karabakh war saw Azerbaijan reclaim most territories via Russia brokered ceasefire. So Russia ne try to become a middleman in this, with Russian peacekeepers deployed. So because of this, it was in news. This is our Caspian Sea. This is our Iran. This is Turkey. This is Armenia. Russia is there and Georgia. Okay. So ethnic tension between Azerbaijan and Armenia continued. It is a landlocked mountainous region, internationally recognized as Azerbaijan territory. Predominantly यहाँ पे Armenians live, and it is located in South Caucasus between Black Sea and Caspian Sea. Conflict since 1980s. Russian peacekeeping involved. Azerbaijan gained control in recent conflict. अब यहाँ पे ना 2 water bodies है इसका. One is Black Sea. अब question can become that which all countries border the Black Sea. So Black Sea is bordered by 6 countries. Number 1 is Turkey. इसका longest coastline है of 1,329 kilometers. Then comes Ukraine. Then we have Russia. And we have Georgia. Okay. And we have Bulgaria and Romania. Okay. These are the places which borders the Black Sea. Okay. साथ के साथ we are doing because it is it becomes something you can understand more. Okay. So how many countries borders Black Sea? If there is a question, what will be your answer? They can ask now 1, 2, 3, 4. They can give you 7, 8 option. So 6 sovereign countries border the Black Sea. Then Caspian Sea is another very important for your prelims examination. 5 countries border the Caspian Sea. One is there is an acronym as well to remember Caspian Sea. Rakti. RAKTI. ठीक है. R से रशिया, A से अजरबैजान, K से कजाकिस्तान, T से तुर्कमेनिस्तान, I से ईरान. What UPSC will do is Turkmenistan की जगह they will put Tajikistan. Your acronym gone. Acronym will also help only when you are vigilant कि what can be done wrong. That is why complete information is always necessary. Rectification is fine, but complete knowledge always helps. That is what I am giving you for the mapping section and geography section. We are doing geography static also, साथ के साथ. No? We are discussing climatic zones and we are discussing about mountains, etc. That's how we will try to discuss things. Then we have Tuvalu. This is a Pacific island nation. Tuvalu. This is Tuvalu. This is Solomon Island. This is Fiji, Tonga, Cook Island. Okay. French Polynesia, New Caledonia. These are Papua New Guinea, Kiribati. These are all important Pacific islands. So what happened? World's first climate visa program was launched. 9 coral islands in South Pacific between Hawaii and Australia, vulnerable to sea level rise. They have very small population, and formerly it is called Ellice Islands. Climate diplomacy leaders are talking about this because this is very much vulnerable because of the sea level rise. So Tuvalu, we have to remember. Tuvalu, this is a Australia. This is Pacific Ocean. This is Hawaiian Island, controlled by US. Lake Urmia, very, very important. We will discuss all the lakes, important lakes. We had discussed already all the important lakes. But again, I'm trying to discuss Lake Urmia. फटाफट से देख लेते हैं दो बार because this is important. Okay. This is Iran. Lake Urmia was in so much in the news. That is why we are going to discuss it. This is Caspian Sea. We were discussing about Caspian Sea. This is your Urmia Lake. So endorheic salt lake hai, no outflow, fed by rivers like Zarini and Simeni, high salinity due to evaporation and shrinkage due to climate plus dams. Ramsar type wetland and also habitat for flamingos. Okay. अब another important place was so much in news, Bagram Air Base. Bagram Air Base. ये है Bagram Air Base. ये है अपना अफगानिस्तान. This is Kabul airport. This is Bagram. This is Kabul. ठीक है ना, Kabul city. This is Kabul airport. This is Bagram. So Afghanistan security situation and geopolitical narratives post US withdrawal was going on in the news. So there is a Parwan provinces near Kabul, former largest US and NATO base. This is a symbol of US withdrawal. Okay. Bagram Air Base. Let's see another very important island, Tokara Island. ये टोकारा आइलैंड है कहाँ? सो टोकारा आइलैंड, जापान आप देखोगे तो जापान इज अ ग्रुप ऑफ आइलैंड, isn't it? Japan is a group of islands. How many islands? What all are important islands? Which island was disputed? Okay. So if I tell you how many islands are there, so it comprises of more than 14,000 small big islands, making it the third largest island country by area after Indonesia and Madagascar. ठीक है, कौन बड़े हैं? इंडोनेशिया एंड मेडागास्कर. अब इसमें कुछ बड़े बड़े हैं. द आर्किपेलागो स्ट्रेचेस अक्रॉस 3,000 किलोमीटर्स, dominated by 4 primary islands. चार जो है, those are 4 are primary island. One is Hokkaido. Hokkaido is the northernmost. ठीक है, सेकंड लार्जेस्ट है, यहाँ कूल क्लाइमेट है. फिर है होन्शु, इट इज लार्जेस्ट, 80% पॉपुलेशन इंक्लूडिंग टोक्यो इज इन होन्शु. फिर है शिकोकू, दिस इज स्मॉलेस्ट मेन आइलैंड. देन वी हैव क्यूशु, दैट इज थर्ड लार्जेस्ट क्लोजेस्ट टू एशिया मेनलैंड. क्या है? One is Hokkaido, second is Honshu, third is Shikoku, and fourth is Kyushu. Honshu is the largest. Tokyo is in the Honshu itself. Okinawa Island ranks 5th overall. जो इसके बाद है वह Okinawa Island. One island which was so much in news asked by UPSC in prelims examination was this Senkaku Island. This is Taiwan. ये आ गया China. Senkaku Island, known as Diaoyu in China, ठीक है, is a disputed uninhabited island group administered by Japan as part of Okinawa prefecture. So Japan incorporated the 8 rocky islets in 1895. US administered them before giving to Japan for a period of almost 20 years, 1940 से लेकर 1970s तक. Okay. So China or Taiwan claim historical ownership since the 14th century, citing the 1895 Treaty of Shimonoseki. Tension escalated post 1968 UN survey as well. Japan maintains no sovereignty dispute exists. China conducts frequent coast guard patrols, incursions, and then there is a response from Japan as well. This is your Taiwan. This is Miyaku, Yaeyama. These all are island. This is Okinawa. This is Amami Island, Tokara. Tokara we were hearing. Osumi. So in July 2025, the Tokara Island were in the news after more than 1,000 earthquakes struck the region, highlighting intense seismic activity. अब इतनी why Japan faces so much of earthquake? What is the reason? How यहाँ से we will understand the earthquake why happens and why it comes in certain part. So इसका location, if you see the Japan's location is on the Pacific Ring of Fire. एक ऐसा ना रिंग ऑफ फायर है, देखो ऐसा पैसिफिक रिंग ऑफ फायर. तो जापान जो है ना वो पैसिफिक रिंग ऑफ फायर में आता है, where multiple tectonic plates are converging. This island nations sits at the junction of four major plates. एक तो Pacific plate, second is Philippine Sea, third is Eurasian, and fourth is North American. Now the Pacific plate is subducting under the Japan, and the subduction is 10 centimeter per year along the Japan Trench. This generates mega thrust quakes like 2001 में आया था Tohoku. Then we had several other, one to came in Fukushima as well. So this is something which is important. और यहाँ volcanic activities also happens more and more. That's why it is important. Pacific Ring of Fire also asked in mains examination. And you will ask, sir, why Delhi we have now earthquakes? What is the reason? What plate is the reason behind it? What convergence or submergence or divergence is happening? So Delhi is lying in seismic zone 4, high risk, near the Delhi Haridwar ridge extension of Aravali folds. And there is a fault as well, Mahendragarh Dehradun fault, where stored stress from plate convergence releases as tremors. So shallow quakes आते रहते हैं 5 to 10 kilometer depth. Recently also, since COVID, you can see that a lot of earthquakes have come. Secondary factors are also there. These are the natural factors. Secondary factors are, this can cause more earthquakes. Like in Deccan also, Deccan Plateau also, seismic activity is increased because of groundwater extraction, reducing the pore pressure in aquifers. Okay, that also triggers sometimes minor quakes. Unlike major Himalayan subduction events. So Delhi's seismic activity stems from compressional interaction, intertectonic fault. Okay. Historical quake since 1720, and it is a vulnerable region. Yeah, fault lines होती है ना. Bhuj में भी that it came because of it. Bhuj, Gujarat. Okay, places which are near to Himalayas are tectonically active. That is the truth. So it is a small archipelago in southern Japan located between Kyushu and the Amami Island. है ना? This is your Tokara. ठीक है, ये आपका अमामी हो गया, ये ओसामी आइलैंड हो गया, क्यूशू एंड अमामी आइलैंड हो गया. ओके, दिस इज अमामी. It comprises 7 inhabited islands: Kuchonishima, Nakoshima, Suwajoshima. This you don't have to cram. Tairazma, Aokesizma, Kodakrizma. हो गया. Charisma bike, you would remember. Okay, so everything. Charisma. Largest island, Nakonishima. Part of tectonically active zone prone to earthquakes and volcanic activity. Now see the Chagos Archipelago. Chagos Archipelago. Always in news. Always. Chagos Islands to go to Mauritius under the 2024 deal. Dadagiri dekhiye. The kind of attitude which is there. Diego Garcia is a place. What UK has to do with this portion? Here it is, yeah. This is Chagos Island, and here there is Diego Garcia. These European powers are still holding. No reunion, you see. France, etc., are also present here. Chagos is still a part of the British Indian Ocean territory. Why you are occupying this? What is your locus standi here? This is our Lakshadweep, Minicoy. This is our Parabharat, Sri Lanka, and Maldives, Madagascar. So the United Kingdom defended its decision to transfer the Chacos archipelago to Mauritius while leasing back the strategic base at Diego Garcia. Defend, they will to defend. And whatever India will do, they will always criticize it. Every small tussle, tension between different communities also happen. These Americans and they all will come and they will start preaching India. But their situation is very, very worrisome. What they do with the people living there, the original inhabitant of these lands. So this is something which you need to know. Key facts is that it is a group of 58 islands in the Indian Ocean, 500 kilometers south of the Maldives. Okay, this is Maldives. Largest island is Diego Garcia. It is a coral atoll near 7° south latitude. Colonial history controlled by France till 1715, ceded to Britain under the Treaty of Paris in 1814. Okay. Since 1715 and it was transferred in 1814. 1965, UK separated Chagos from Mauritius to form British Indian Ocean Territory. It has a huge strategic importance. US UK military base operational since 1986. Key role in Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan, and post 9/11 operations. International Court of Justice 2019 termed UK's detachments unlawful. 2024 deal, UK agreed to transfer sovereignty to Mauritius while retaining Diego Garcia on a 99 years lease. So this is what you need to know. Now we will see about GERD Ethiopia. GERD Ethiopia. See this. Let me zoom in. Now it is visible. Okay. This is our Ethiopia. This is Uganda. So this is referred here as GERD Ethiopia. Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, is Africa's largest hydropower project of around 6,450 megawatt capacity. It is built on the Blue Nile in Ethiopia, about 30 kilometers upstream of Sudan. Okay, 30 kilometers upstream of Sudan. This is Sudan. It started in 2011 and it was funded domestically. It aims to double Ethiopia's electricity output, enable exports to neighbors like Kenya, Sudan, and position Ethiopia as regional energy hub. Okay, because of that, it was in news. Okay. So it is a massive gravity dam. Earth dam, and all of different types of dam is not important for your prelims examination. Located on the Blue Nile River in the Peninsular Gumuz region of Ethiopia. Once fully operational in 2026, it will be the largest hydroelectric power plant in Africa. Egypt views the dam as an existential threat to its water security as it relies on the Nile for 90% of its freshwater needs. Here the conflict is. Egypt justifies its water right using 1929 and 1959 treaties from the British era. Okay. Now let's see the North Sea. Yeah, North Sea. Okay, this is North Sea. Now, North Sea, why it was in news? Energy and windmill issue under global energy politics that is happening. So North Sea is a shallow marginal sea of the Atlantic Ocean between the Great Britain and continental Europe. It covers approximately 570,000 kilometers. It is bordered by UK in the west, Norway in the northeast, Denmark. Here is Denmark. Here another very, very powerful country, that is Germany. Then we have Netherlands. Then we have Belgium. Then we have France. Okay. connects to Atlantic via English Channel or Dover Strait. Yes, Strait of Dover. This is English Channel. Continental shelf hosts sandbanks, rich fisheries. There are major rivers as well, like Rhine River, Elbe River, Thames River. They deposit sediments in this. So, wind farms are there, shipping, and all of these. It is part of the Atlantic Ocean. Drains major rivers. Fourth river is another, Humber River. Strong offshore wind potential is there. Rich in North Sea oil and natural gas. North Sea continental shelf, major petroleum site. Jaha energy with their conflict. Then we have Thai and Cambodian clashes. It was so much in news, so let's see. Yeah, हमारा again थोड़ा सा zoom in we will do. 1 second. This is Thailand. Okay. This is your Cambodia. This is the capital, Phnom Penh. Okay, this is Bangkok. These are areas, Preah Vihara. You must have heard in art and culture book. Ubon, Ratchanti, Surin, Sisaket, Buriram. This is Lao. This is Lao. And either is going Vietnam. This is Vietnam. This is Gulf of Thailand. Now let's read about the conflict. So border clashes occurred near Ta Moon Thom Temple between Thailand's Surin province and Cambodia's Odar Mianche province. The dispute relate to the nearly 800-kilometer long border. These are the areas of dispute. Reason behind the dispute? So there is again the same reason. The similar reason between India and China border issue is also this colonial era treaties. So colonial era treaties of 1904 and 1907 between France, which ruled Cambodia, and Siam. Siam was the earlier name of Thailand, created border ambiguities. Main disputes revolves around Preah Vihar temple and Prasate Mount Thom temple. The conflict is concentrated around the Dangrek mountains, which separate Khorat Plateau in Thailand and Cambodian plain. Important geographical facts is that Dangrek mountain divide the Mekong basin in the south and Mun River basin in the north. Let's see a bit more about the Mekong River, because Mekong River is important for your prelims examination. Always Mekong Ganga cooperation also is there. So Mekong River is a Southeast Asia's longest river. First facts. And second is it is most biodiverse river. So it traverses 6 countries. पहले तो चाइना, ऊपर से चाइना, ठीक है. Upper Langkang River, it is said 23% basin is there. Then it goes to Myanmar. Then it goes to Lao. Lao में जाके ना it makes deep gorges. Okay. Then it goes Thailand. Then it goes to Cambodia. And then finally to Vietnam, where it makes delta and drains. It is 12th largest globally in terms of length and 10th by discharge. Okay. The upper reaches are steep, and it is known. And it is known for having a very high quality inland fishery. 2 million tons per year is produced. It is also a rice bowl delta, and it is monsoon driven, prone to floods. Okay. So like our Ganges, it is also influenced by the monsoon. Then we read about the Moon River. What is Moon River and how it is also important after Mekong? This is one of the important rivers. So Moon River is the tributary of Mekong River, nothing else. And it is in eastern Thailand. So it rises in the San Khampang region in Thailand. And it is seasonally navigable. Okay, this much is enough. The region also includes the Emerald Triangle, where Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos meet. Emerald Triangle. Let's see. क्या हो सकता है Emerald Triangle? So this is Thailand. This is Laos. This is the region which is Emerald Triangle, where Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia, all three are meeting. Peace efforts. So US mediated the Kuala Lumpur Peace Accord in October 2025. However, the agreement failed to resolve tensions. Now let's read about Preah Vihar Temple. So Preah Vihar Temple is an 11th century Khmer Hindu temple and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. located atop a cliff in the Dangrek mountain range dedicated to Lord Shiva. Built between the 9th to 12th centuries by Khmer rulers Yashovarman I, Suryavarman I, Suryavarman II. The temple uniquely follows a north-south axis, unlike most Khmer temples. In 1962, the International Court of Justice awarded sovereignty to Cambodia, though access disputes continue. Then Prasad Ta Muen Thom. So it is a 12th century Hindu shrine dedicated to Lord Shiva again. It remains another major flashpoint in the border dispute. So this much information is more than enough. Now let's see another country which was so much in news. It is Eswatini. Eswatini. Oh, where is Eswatini? Let's zoom in. Zoom करते हैं, then we will see. This is your Eswatini. ठीक है, ये एस्वातिनी. दिस रीजन इज एस्वातिनी. ये हमारा साउथ अफ्रीका है. केप टाउन, जोहान्सबर्ग, प्रिटोरिया, there are so many other cities in South Africa. This is your Mozambique, and this is a country which is on all the four country within country. It is called as Lesotho. There is another country. It is called a Liechtenstein. It's in Europe. Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. So we are talking about this country. Why we are talking about this country? Let's see why it was in news. So US has deported a small number of criminals to Eswatini, Africa's final absolute monarchy. So it is a landlocked southern African nation situated between South Africa and Mozambique. It is Africa's last absolute monarchy, where King Maswati III holds total control and rules by decree. उनका जो decree means the farman they issue na, that is full and final. No if and but. Over half of the 1.2 million population lives in extreme and abject poverty, subsisting on less than $4 a day. Ab aa jao Sudan, always in news, yaar, always Sudan. The crisis is going since a long time. So ye dekhiye, this is Sudan, this is South Sudan, this is Khartoum, this is Eritrea, Ethiopia, Central African Republic, Chad, Libya, Egypt, Red Sea, Saudi Arabia, and this is Eritrea. So let's see. The conflict is going on between army and RSF. RFS is former Janjaweed militia. Leader is Mohammed Hamdan Dagulo, backed by UAE. Army is backed by Egypt. Retook Khartoum area. Key areas of conflict is Al Fasr, and there is a famine. Darfur because of cholera. El Obeid was in news because of attack. South Kordofan is an oil-rich area. These all regions belong to. They can mention these sites and they can ask why it is in news. Why it is in news. This is a constant question. Then humanitarian crisis led to displacement, famine risk, food shortage. Background is South Sudan separated in 2011. Countries got two parts. They divided. They thought everything will become fine. Became even worse. GDP shrinking -29%. Another country was in news because of specifically Donald Trump's statements. President Trump had said so many things. So this is your Somaliland. Okay, this is Somalia, Ethiopia, Kenya. So Somaliland, officially the Republic of Somaliland, is a self-declared sovereign state in the Horn of Africa that has functioned as a de facto independent country for over 30 years. While it is internationally considered as an autonomous region of Somalia, it maintains its own government, currency, passport, and military. Israel became the first country to formally recognize Somaliland as an independent and sovereign state. It is located in the Horn of Africa. It borders Djibouti, Ethiopia, Somalia, and lies along the Gulf of Aden near Bab al-Mandab shipping lane. Its capital is Hargeisa. The main port is Berbera, which serves as a vital hub for Ethiopia. So it was a British protectorate state, distinct from the rest of Somalia, which was Italian. But they go and they divide everywhere. It gained independence from the UK on June 26, 1960, and united with Italian Somaliland to form the Somali Republic on July 1, 1960. Following a civil war and the collapse of the Somali government, Somaliland declared its independence on May 18, 1991, returning to its 1960 borders. Another, you were talking about 9 dash line. Historically, China will come with its own historical maps. And they are doing so because they have become powerful. Economically, they have become powerful. So that is why they are trying to assert their dominance. They are expansionist country. Okay. So they will say that there are historically this 9 dash line, 90% of the South China Sea is there. Historical map. So US Navy plans repair facilities for Philippine military boats in Palawan near South China Sea. Region remains a major geopolitical hotspot due to maritime disputes, which is continuing. ये देखो ये पूरा 9 dash line. Everything is of China. Everything. And in this also there are important islands like Parasail Island, Scarborough Shoal Island, Spratly Island. These were always in news, and these are the common flashpoints. So major disputed islands are, one is Spratly Island, claimants are China, Taiwan, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia. Then Parasail Island, claimants are China, Taiwan, Vietnam. Scarborough Island, China, Philippines, and Taiwan are claiming. Then Pratas Island, claimed by China and Taiwan, controlled by Taiwan. We have Natuna Island, claimed by Indonesia. China claims nearby maritime waters. So 9 dash line, China claims most of the South China Sea through the 9 dash lines, overlaps with EEZ economic exclusive zones of Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam. Dispute involves fisheries, oil and gas, strategic shipping routes. Then East China Sea dispute, Senkaku Island, so we had already read. Okay, so administered by Japan, claimed by China and Taiwan, important for strategic location, fisheries, and oil and gas reservoirs. Then we have Scarborough Shoal. So major China Philippines flashpoint located within Philippines EEZ, rich fishing grounds and lagoon shelter. We also have Hongyan Island and Pantang Shoal, Philippines. Says it. Okay. The recent development is the China seized control in 2012. Presence of Chinese Coast Guard, fishing vessels, and maritime militia. China announced a nature reserve in the area. International ruling was that 2016 Permanent Court of Arbitration ruling favored Philippines. Sovereignty issues remains unresolved. China said, "Koi nahi. You say whatever you want." Now come to Venezuela. So Venezuela, because of obvious reason, was so much in news. Capital is Caracas. This is Atlantic Ocean. Colombia, Brazil, Guyana. So first of all, we will try to read some basic geography facts with respect to Venezuela. There can be a question which can come with respect to Venezuela, some deeper question. So it borders, first of all, Colombia, Brazil, Guyana, and the Caribbean Sea. It has diverse terrain. It has, first of all, Maracaibo lowland. Then it has northern Andes along the Caribbean coast. And it has southeast Guyana highlands. Have mountains and a great fall, Angel Fall, world's highest uninterrupted waterfall. There are rivers like Orinoco River, Rio Negros River. Maracaibo Lake is a very important lake. South America's largest lake, Maracaibo Lake. Capital is Caracas. Often cited as world's largest proven oil reserves. Hyperinflation is there, sanctions in there, and recently, it exports crude, gold, iron. Agriculturally, they produce rice, corn, coffee. Highly urbanized population. Okay, crisis under Maduro and what was done by President Trump recently. Okay, it is an OPEC member for obvious reason. Indian Ocean maybe there are a lot of disputes. One of the dispute involves India. That is Kacha Tivu Island. Kacha Tivu Island. This is Kacha Tivu Island. Okay. Let me zoom in a bit. I think now it is visible. This is Kacha Tivu Island. It's a small island of almost nearly 300 acres. So what happened? Traditionally used by the Tamil fishermen from both nations. Okay. It was part of Ramnath Zamindari, Ramanathapuram, India, until British surveys placed it in Ceylon by 1921. India formally ceded sovereignty to Sri Lanka via the 1974 Indo-Sri Lankan Maritime Agreement, in terms of, but done by Mrs. Indira Gandhi, resolving Pak's boundaries. But the issue keeps on going. Fishermen issues and all of this is still going on. Periodic arrest is happening of Indian fishermen, and that is leading to court cases, etc. So that is why it is in news. Chagos archipelago to we saw. Then we have this Sir Creek. What is Sir Creek? Why it was in news in 2017, 18, though it was always in news. That was the situation. So Sir Creek is a 96-kilometer long disputed tidal estuary in the marshy region of Kutch, making the maritime boundary between India and Pakistan. So dispute stems from the 1914 Bombay government resolution between Rao of Kutch and Sindh. So Rao of Kutch, मान लो India, and Sindh, Pakistan. Pakistan claims the entire creek along the eastern bank. India invokes the Para 10 and the Thalwik principle, citing 1925 maps and mid-channel pillars. Okay, so because of that, it is going on. It is a Indian territory. Okay, होते रहेगा dispute. Then we have Socotra Island. We have other important island like Tromelin Island. We have Europa Island, Mayotte Island, Galoreso Island. Okay, so these all are also there. Daumiria Island, Juan de Nuva Island, Basasda Island. But what was important, I discussed with greater detail. Now, a very, very important thing which is asked by UPSC is active volcanoes. So let's study. First, to India, we will see this has been asked by UPSC. Barren Island. So its location is in Andaman Sea, and India's only active volcano it is. South Asia's only confirmed active volcano. It is part of volcanic chain from Sumatra to Myanmar. First recorded eruption in 1787, has erupted multiple times. And we have Baratang Island, again in Andaman Islands, also called as Ranchiwala's Island, contains India's only mud volcanoes. Eruption linked to 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake. Recently erupted, recent observation or last eruption happened in 2005. Now see, let's worldwide. Mount Etna, very, very important. Mount Etna is in Italy. Mount Etna is in Italy. It is Europe's highest active volcano. It is UNESCO's World Heritage Site. It is located near Catania. It is combination of silt and stratovolcano. Then we have Kilauea. Kilauea is in Hawaiian Island, controlled by the part of territory of America. It is active shield volcano known for continuous eruptions, contains lava lake and large caldera. Major eruption happened in 1955. Then we have Mauna Loa. Again, it is in Hawaiian Island, one of world's largest volcanoes, forms major part of Hawaiian Island, erupted 33 times since 1843. Then we have Mount Vesuvius. It is in Italy, famous for destruction of Pompeii and Herculaneum. Part of Campanian volcanic arc, last eruption in 1944. Mount Merapi is very, very important. It is in Indonesia, and Indonesia's most active volcano, active stratovolcano, regular eruption since 1548. Average eruption cycle is 5 to 10 years. Now, ab yahan pe one thing which has come, which is of importance in terms of static geography, is the types of volcanoes. Chalo, discuss karte hain. We will discuss it. Try to understand quickly how many types of volcanoes are there. The first is shield volcano, which is a broad and it has gentle slopes. Fluid lava is there. Flows far. Magma type is basaltic. No, Deccan में आप देखो ना basaltic पूरा एकदम flowed. So Mauna Loa is an example of it. Then composite or stratovolcano. It is steep, symmetrical cone, explosive due to alternating layers. Okay. Magma type is andestic, which is viscous. Viscous होगा तो it will flow slowly. Mount Fuji in Japan and Mount Vesuvius is the example of composite or stratovolcano. Then we have cinder cone, that is small steep-sided pile of the cinders, fragments, and single vent is there. It can be basaltic or having andesite fragments. The Paricutin in Mexico is the volcano. It is shortest lived. Then we have lava dome, dome-shaped mound, thick lava, doesn't flow far, and it is very viscous. It is dacitic. Then we have Nova Rupta, which is an example of it. Other forms are then caldera, which is large depression from magma chamber. It collapses. Then we have fissures, which has linear cracks, no central cone. Japan's ring of fire often triggers stratovolcanoes type linked to plate tectonics. Okay, itna you have to know, not more than that. So now let's move. This is our Pyara Bharat map which I have given, so that na यहाँ पे आपको ना one exercise you all have to do. You have to mark all the states name. अब this practice is now for the question which comes that Ram is traveling from Delhi to, say for example, Coimbatore. So how many minimum states he had to travel, including origin and destination, excluding origin and destination. So this exercise you have to do. इसलिए I have given this map. And now I have given it in printable format also, so you can take printout as well. Okay. So previously people were saying that it's so much of colorful. So give us sir in a format that it is printable. So ये आपको भरना है all the places name. अब हमारा रिवर मैप. सो इंपॉर्टेंट रिवर्स बहुत अच्छे से वी विल सी. सो मेजर रिवर्स इन इंडिया. ठीक है, मेजर रिवर्स इन इंडिया, मेजर रिवर सिस्टम इन इंडिया. तो सबसे पहले तो हमारा जो मेजर रिवर सिस्टम इन इंडिया विल स्टार्ट. तो हम पहले इंडस रिवर सिस्टम को वी विल ट्राई टू एनालाइज. इंडस रिवर सिस्टम, व्हाट वी विल ट्राई टू एनालाइज? इंडस रिवर सिस्टम. थोड़ा जूम इन करते हैं पहले. लेट्स zoom in a bit more. 1 second. ज्यादा हो गया. 1 second, 1 second बस. ये देखो थोड़ा you will be able to see ये इंडस रिवर सिस्टम. So it is India's major transboundary network. अब ये this originates near लेक मानसरोवर इन तिब्बत. तिब्बत से निकलता, निकल यहाँ से. ये इंडस अपना यहाँ से हो रहा है. यहाँ दिस इज इंडस flowing 3,180 kilometer primarily through Ladakh, India and Pakistan before reaching the Arabian Sea. ठीक है. So the source is बोखार छू ग्लेशियर. इतनी बड़े रिवर्स को देख के बोखार मीन्स फीवर. You felt fever. So from this you can remember Kailash range, Tibet. So basin is a very big basin, and the tributaries, now we will discuss the tributaries of Indus. Specifically, why Punjab is called as Punjab? The 5 rivers flow through Punjab. So Indus river ki the major tributaries are divided into, first of all, 2 parts. One is called as left bank and second is called as right bank tributaries. So left bank tributaries, if I want to tell you, then the first one is Jaskar, that joins near Leh. There is Suru in Kashmir. And we have Sohan or Sawan in northwest Punjab. We have Jhelum, which goes through the capital city, Srinagar. Veri Nag Spring, say it comes out. Veri Nag Spring. Okay. Pir Punjab. Then we have Chenab, comes from, there is a stream, Chandra and Baga. Baralacha La, say it comes. Ravi comes from Rohtang Pass. And Beas comes from Beas Kund, Rohtang. Satlaj comes from Rakastal, Rakshas. Satlaj naam ka Rakshas. You can remember like this something. Then we have Panjanath, confluence of above 5 Punjab rivers. Right bank tributaries, agar we will try to remember is, one is Shok, comes from Karakoram, joins near Skardu. Then Gilgit River comes from Sandur Plateau. Hunza comes from Batura glaciers or Hespar glaciers. Then Kabul comes near the Durand lines and largest right bank tributary of Indus. Then we have Kurram or Gomal. Okay. Then we have Swat River, Konar River. This is what you need to know. UPSC sometimes go very, very deep into it. There is a UPSC PYQ which came, I think, in the year 2021, which went so deep into Indus River system. And that led to a lot of confusion as well. The question was that with reference to the river system of India, which river joins and which river flows into one river, like this, there was a question. Okay. ठीक है, इतना जान लो राइट बैंक और लेफ्ट बैंक ट्रिब्यूटरी एंड इट विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट. Now let's see the Ganges river system, Ganga, और प्यारा गंगा. गैंजेस को थोड़ा जूम कर लेते हैं ना, थोड़ा सा. 1 second. I think now it will be a bit more visible. क्या, बहुत सारी रिवर्स है. गैंजेस रिवर सिस्टम. तो यहाँ पे भी we'll see first of all there are so many prayags that are made by Ganges. So Ganga river system is India's largest and most sacred river, and the source is Bhagirathi river, comes from the Gangotri glacier, which is called as Gaumukh, which is in Uttarakhand, becomes Ganga at Devaprayag when Alaknanda and Bharti confluences. ठीक है. So all prayags that are made in the Ganga river system is very, very important. Okay. So let's discuss that in a very brief manner. So Panch Prayags are there. Vishnu Prayag is made when Alaknanda and Dhauli Ganga meets. Location is Josimat. Where Nanda Prayag, Alaknanda and Nandakini. You can guess. Okay. Nanda Prayag town. Nandakini and Nandaprayag, say you can guess. Karnaprayag, Alaknanda and Pindar. So Pindaris were kind of having all kinds of warrior abilities, and Karna was also having warrior abilities, but Pindaris were doing all kinds of negative things also, like robberies, etc. So say you can remember. Karnaprayag town mein it is there. And we have Rudraprayag, where Alaknanda and Mandakini river meets. It is in Rudraprayag. Kedarnath jaoge, Kedarnath route, you will see Rudraprayag. And you have Devaprayag, where Kalaknanda and Bhagirathi meets. Ganga officially begins here. These 5 you need to remember. So, pehle it comes from narrow Himalayan valley. Rishikesh is the first town from where it flows. Then it goes to Haridwar. Then we have middle part is the Gangetic plain. It meanders through UP and Bihar, and there is a regions of Tarai region which is developed. And lower portion, the deltaic region in the West Bengal, and it splits at Farakka into Bhagirathi and Hooghly. Then it goes in Bangladesh and it becomes Padma River. Okay. So first we will see the major tributaries. So left bank tributaries अगर हमें देखना है तो left bank tributaries start from Ram Ganga from Kumaon. ठीक है. Then we have Gomati river. Then we have Ghagra. Then we have Gandak. And then we have Kosi. Kosi is called as Saurav Bihar. Right bank, if you will see, then Yamuna is the has to be the most important one. It comes from Yamunitri. Then Son comes from Amarkantak. And we have Punpun. And then we have Damodar which comes from Chota Nagpur. Now, in terms of Ganga basin in Indian states, in terms of how much kilometers it flows, is something which can be also asked in the prelims examination. So let's see. The basin area, if I will say, the Uttar Pradesh has to be enough. It has almost 2,94,000, roughly 34% of basin area is there. ठीक है, बेसिन एरिया में तो फिर उत्तर प्रदेश है, बेसिन एरिया में एवरीथिंग कम्स, एंड मध्य प्रदेश, देन बिहार, राजस्थान, वेस्ट बंगाल, हरियाणा, नो, दिस इज देयर बेसिन में। ठीक है, तो इसमें ऑल द ट्रिब्यूटरीज एवरीथिंग कम्स। आई एम गिविंग सो मच ऑफ द time and focus to these two rivers because they are very very important. Okay, let's come to another river system, that is a Brahmaputra river system. Brahmaputra river system has a different name as well. No, it is called as Yarlang Sankt in Tibet. It flows, it has a length of almost 2,880 kilometer, and then it drains into Bay of Bengal. The source is a Chemyadung Glacier. Chemyadung Glacier is near Mount Kailash, a mountain which has never been scaled in Ansi Glacier range. It's called as Yarlang Shangpo. It enters India as Siang or Dihang in Arunachal Pradesh. It joins the Dibang and Lohit at Sadia in Assam to become Brahmaputra. It enters Bangladesh as Jamuna and it merges with Ganga, Padma to form world's largest delta, that is Sundarban, via Meghna estuary. Okay, it flows across the Arunachal, Assam, Nagaland, Meghalaya, West Bengal, Sikkim, Tripura, Mizoram. So if I have to see the tributaries, then left bank tributaries are Subansiri, which is largest by volume. Then we have Kameng, then we have Jia Bhareli, Dibang, Lohit, and Burhi Dihing. In right bank tributaries, we have Manas, then we have Sankosh, Raidak, Jhaldaka, Tista, very fast flowing, comes from Sikkim, Dhansiri, then Barak. So it is a braided river with high sediments. We have an island also, Majuli Island, which is sinking nowadays. And hydropower potential is huge, specifically in rivers like Tista, Subansiri. So this is what you need to know. Another very, very important river system is our Godavari river system. Godavari river system. So Godavari river system is also a kind of a lifeline. If you see the regions, or specifically the Deccan region, it is considered as lifeline. So Godavari river system is also called as Dakshin Ganga. Is India's second longest river after Ganga in terms of flowing in India. Brahmaputra flows outside India also. So it flows 1465 kilometer. Source is Trambakeshwar, Brahmagiri Hills, Nasik, Maharashtra. Flows southeast through Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. We have delta as well, like Rajamundry, splits into Gautami in east and Vasishta in west. Largest coastal delta after Ganga River. If you see the basin, then we have Maharashtra has almost 48.7% of basin. Andhra Pradesh has the next, then Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Odisha, and Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka. Then tributaries, the major tributaries of Godavari. The left bank, we have Purna, Pranhita. Pranhita becomes when Vardha, Vainganga, and Penganga joins, then it becomes Pranhita. Then Indravati, which is in Chhattisgarh, Odisha region, then Sabri River, Darna River, Kadava River, Kanahan River, and Pench River. Right bank tributaries, Manjira in Telangana, Siram Sagar Dam is built. Then we have Pravara, we have Peddavagu, we have Manair, we have Mula. We have minor sub-tributaries as well, like Vardha, Vainganga. Then we have Penganga, which joins Vardha. Okay, so this is all what you need to know. Now another very, very important river, that is Krishna river system. Krishna river system is again very, very important lifeline. So Krishna river system is India's fourth largest peninsular river basin. It flows 1400 kilometers eastwards from Western Ghats to Bay of Bengal. The source is Mahabaleshwar in Maharashtra. flows through Satara, Solapur, Vijaypura, and Karnataka, Raichur, Kalburgi, and comes to Hyderabad, Telangana, Nalagonda, Khammam. Okay. So this is what all you need to know. The left bank tributaries are Bhima, Hindi, Musi River, which flows from Hyderabad city, Moyar. Then right bank, we have Tungabhadra, Ghat Prabha, Malaprabha, Koina, and Panchganga. We have important dams also built on Krishna River, that is Nagarjuna Sagar Dam. We have Srisalam, we have Koina, Tungabhadra, etc. etc. It is very important for irrigation. Black cotton soil, regular soil is there for rice, jowar. We have a dispute as well. So there is a dispute tribunal built on Krishna water. Okay. So this is what you need to know. We have Mahanadi river system, another important river system, that is Mahanadi river system. We are going very deep into everything. उसके बाद मैपिंग में nothing important remains. Very few things. Majority of the things we are covering. Mahanadi river system is a peninsular India's third largest after Godavari, Krishna, and called previously it was also called as Oro Odisha due to floods. Source is Sihava Hills in Dhamatri, Chhattisgarh. Then it flows through Chhattisgarh plains. Then Satkosia Gorge in Odisha. Delta near Cuttack to Bay of Bengal. Chhattisgarh mein maximum delta is there, and then Odisha. Minor is in Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha as well. Major tributaries, left bank is Sevnath, that is largest. Then Hasdev, Mand, Ib, and Jonak. Right bank mein Ong, Tel, Jonk. Jonak and Jonk is different. Jonak, J-O-N-A-K, is a left bank tributary. Jonk is a right bank tributary. J-O-N-K. There is a Hirakud Dam, world's longest earthen dam, is built here in Sambalpur. It is a multi-purpose dam, and Rice Bowl, Odisha Delta connects Chilka Lake. Coal mining in Chhattisgarh is very important. And again, there is again dispute. So Mahanadi Water Dispute Tribunal has been built. Okay. आ जाओ नर्मदा रिवर सिस्टम पर. आ जाओ नर्मदा रिवर सिस्टम. River पे ना they ask usually a question. That is why I am going too deep into it. So Narmada river system is India's largest west flowing peninsular river. This originates from Amarkantak, the Maikal range, flows 1312 kilometer westward through Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rift Valley में जाता है, इसलिए it's going towards west. इतनी बड़ी, so big river, and then also it is flowing towards in Gujarat to Gulf of Khambat. तो बेसिन तो मध्य प्रदेश में it is huge, then Gujarat, then Maharashtra, then Chhattisgarh. Major tributaries, left bank is Tawa. MP में irrigation के लिए it is used. Then we have Burner, Haron, Banjar, Barna, Kolar, and Beda. Right bank में Hiran, Orsang, Kari, and Goi. A very important dam is built here, Sardar Sarovar Dam. नर्मदा बचाओ आंदोलन हुआ था. This Indira Sagar Dam, Madhya Pradesh. We have Dhuadhar Falls in Jabalpur, where marble rocks in Bhedaghat. It is sacred also because of Omkareshwar. Okay, so this is what you need to know. अब आ जाओ यार यमुना रिवर सिस्टम पे. यमुना, ये ना Kaveri is also very very important. Say the questions are coming your sort. That too we should not leave. Yamuna river system, if you see, it comes from Yamunotri Glacier, and the place is Bandar Pooch Peak in Uttarakhand. Flows through Uttarakhand, Himachal, Haryana, Delhi, UP, joins Ganga at Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj. Okay. Major tributaries, left bank में Chambal है, longest. Then we have Gandhi Sagar Dam we were discussing now. We have Betwa and Kane as a left bank tributary. Right bank we have Tons, Hindon flows through your Ghaziabad, etc. Okay, Giri, Saur, Khad, and Sahibi river. We have Okhla and Tajewala. It is heavily polluted. It irrigates Doab for wheat and rice. Okay, this is what you need to know. अब आ जाओ कावेरी रिवर सिस्टम पे. कावेरी रिवर सिस्टम इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर योर एग्जामिनेशन. यूनी वगैरह तो यह डिस्कस इन previously only in this lecture. So Kaveri river system, known as South India's very important river, as important as like Godavari. The Kaveri is very, very important for specifically states like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and even for Kerala. Okay, so sources Tala Kaveri in Brahmagiri Hills in Kodagu, Karnataka, passes the Sivasamudram Falls. Krishna Rajasagar Dam in Mysore is built. Mettur Dam forms fertile delta, which is called as Garden of South India, near Pumpar Basin. So, in terms of basins, we have Tamil Nadu has marginally bigger than Karnataka, then Kerala, and we have a small basin in the Puducherry as well. So, if I have to discuss the tributaries of the Kaveri river system, so the tributaries of Kaveri majors are the Amaravati, Hemavati, Bhavani, no? Noyal. Okay. इसको अगर if we want to do in terms of left bank, right bank, तो left bank है हेमावती, हारंगी, शिमसा, अर्कावती comes from Nandi Hills, popular destination if you are living in Bangalore. शिमसा is तुमकुरु. Right bank में काबिनी, Wayanad, Mysore. Wayanad is a very beautiful place. Then we have Lakshman Tirtha, comes from Kodagu. Then Bhavani from Nilgiris. Noyal, Velangiri Hills. Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Amravati, Udumalpet, Tamil Nadu. Then we have Suvarnavati, comes from Honhole. Okay, so all of this you need to know. Up east and west flowing river, because na UPSC had asked questions, that is why we have to cover it. What UPSC is asking, at least that तो we should cover ना. So अब देखो तो major east flowing rivers, if we see all the major rivers, or let's see the Ganga, Brahmaputra, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, all the major rivers which I have read are the east flowing, except Narmada, which we read originates from Amarkantak Plateau. Other big west flowing rivers are Tapi, flows from Madhya Pradesh through Maharashtra and Gujarat. We have Mahi, flows through Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Gujarat, a rare river that crosses the Tropic of Cancer twice. And we have Sabarmati, origins from Aravali in Rajasthan, flows through Gujarat into the Gulf of Khambat, which we had discussed when we were discussing the Aravali Mountains. Now, west flowing rivers of Kerala are something which I am expecting UPSC to ask. Okay, Kerala has so many rivers. If you see now the states of south of India, majority of the states has issue with respect to the water, because the rivers doesn't are not coming. They don't have source from glaciers. But Kerala is an exception because it has so many rivers, like Periyar River. So it is close to the districts like Idukki, Ernakulam. Idukki Dam is on built on Periyar. We have Periyar Tiger Reserve. We have a Bharat Puja River. So it flows through districts like Palakkad and Mallapuram. It's also called as the Neela River. This is a cultural lifeline. Then we have Pampa River. Okay. Sabrimala pilgrimage, na? It's important. Then we have Chalayar River. It flows through Kozhikode and Mallapuram. We have Vadakara port on this. We have Chalakudi. Chalakudi is something which flows through Thrissur district. And then there is a term in Malayali, Chai Kada. Chai Kada means tea time. Chai and biscuit, if you eat, it is called a Chai Kada. Athirapalli Falls, very famous for tourists. Here, joins Periyar. We have Kadala Nudi. Kadala Nudi is in Kozhikode, and it's a bird sanctuary is there. Joins the Lakshadweep Sea. Then we have Kalala River in Kollam. There is a Thenmal Dam. Then we have Muvat Puja. It flows in through Ernakulam district, and we have Thoda Puja tributary as well. Okay. So that is, I discussed it because it is important. आ जाओ, क्वेश्चन भी आया ऊपर. These are your practice questions. आप आ जाओ रडार पे. Said by the great player Rizwan. Okay, you must have seen the meme. Tiger reserves in India. Environmental map. Tiger reserve is very, very important. Let's discuss important tiger reserves of India. So, देखो, numbers of tiger reserves in India will keep on increasing, decreasing. ठीक है. तो अभी तो 58 tiger reserves. When we had updated this, we had 58 tiger reserves as of 2025. The most reserves are in कहाँ पे? Question बनेगा. मध्य प्रदेश 9, Maharashtra 6. Largest is Nagarjunasagar, Srisalam in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Smallest is Bor in Maharashtra. Highest tiger density is in Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett is a very, very famous personality. Very famous personality. Very popular personality. One of the founding fathers of in terms of the tiger conservation. And he was not just a tiger conservationist. The tigers who used to become human eaters, na Adamkhor. He was a uh, very big tiger hunter, very sharp tiger hunter. There are some tigers become Adamkhor or man eaters. There are stories, and I have read a few books of Jim Corbett. He's written about his time in the places of Uttarakhand, etc. Very, very important personality in terms of the tiger conservation. Okay. So हम थोड़ा सा डीप जाएंगे एंड वी विल डिस्कस एवरी टाइगर रिजर्व्स थोड़ा इन डिटेल. से पहले इन्वायरमेंटल डिटेल्स तो वी वॉन्ट गो. लेट्स डिस्कस द details with respect to the geography, environment in terms of acts and convention. But we'll discuss all the important things. So first is our Kanha Tiger Reserve. अब इसके basis पे what are important things which we need to discuss. First of all, the river which is associated is the Banjar and Halon River. So Kanha Tiger Reserve is among India's very important tiger reserves, and it spans the Mandala and Balaghat districts in central India, Satpura, Maikal Range. Okay, and established as national park in 1955 and tiger reserves in 1974. Then we have Bandhavgarh. Bandhavgarh is also in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. And Son River is associated or nearby or associated river. It's in Umaria district. Okay. The tigers are, it is a top Madhya Pradesh reserve after Kana. 75 plus tigers are there. We also have leopards and sloth bears and sambar and cheetal, god and other birds also in the Bandhavgarh. The Bandhavgarh fort is ancient fort. Tala zones, we have Ramayana legend also related to this. Lakshmana fort is there. Okay. Then we have Pench, Satpura. We have Deva and Tava rivers in there. Panna in Madhya Pradesh. Kane River is associated with Tadoba, Andheri, Maharashtra. Andheri and Wainganga River. And then we have Melaghat and Maharashtra. Tapi and Khandu River are associated. In this, I want to discuss another important tiger reserve in a bit detail. Tadoba and Andheri Tiger Reserve. It was so much in news and praised also for tiger sighting. It is known as the Jewel of Vidarbha, one of India's highest tiger population. You can see 100 plus tigers are there. It is in Chandrapur district. And we have excellent tiger sighting. Agar aapko, you want to see now, you can go to this place. It's for a beautiful place to sight tigers. Sachin Tendulkar also went here and he posted about this. Sambar, cheetal, nilgai, magar crocodile are also found here. Okay. So then we have Jim Corbett, most important one. Jim Corbett is most important. ठीक है, यहाँ पे हमारे पास we have the highest amount of tigers. So it is India's first national park and top tiger reserves with the highest tiger density. Why we are covering tiger sanctuaries? See, then these are the ones which are asked more and more. Okay, most number of times. So location is Nainital and Pauri Garhwal districts. Excellent sightings you can find here. Asiatic elephants, leopards, sloth bear, sambar, cheetal, etc. And we have Rajaji as well in Uttarakhand. Ramganga River flows through Jim Corbett. And Rajaji, we have Ganga and Song River. Then we have Dudhwa. It is in Uttar Pradesh. Sharda River and Suheli River are associated. Valmiki, only tiger reserve in Bihar. Gandak River is associated with it. We have Pilibhit in Uttar Pradesh. Sarda and Chuka River are associated with it. About eastern and northeast India में तो सुंदरबन of very important site for the tigers in West Bengal. They are excellent swimmers. You know, Sundarban tigers can swim very well. As it India's largest mangrove ecosystem and unique for hosting mangrove adopted Royal Bengal tiger. And there is a place called as South 24 Pargana. See, mind you, West Bengal is the only state in India where it has Himalayas as well as ocean. Ocean से लेकर Himalayas तक, West Bengal. Okay. So if you go to the regions of the northern Bengal, you go to the Darjeeling, etc., you have Himalayas. When you go to the regions of the Digha regions, in Kolkata, and if you go, you will find oceans. West Bengal has mangroves. West Bengal have excellent forest, tea gardens, very important cultural places. You have Ganga Sagar. You have very ancient Dakshineshwar temple associated with Ramakrishna Paramhans, and you have very eminent personalities coming from West Bengal, right from the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to all these. I had discussed in modern history as well. So, mind you, it's a very cultured and very beautiful state. I have been to all the portions of all the beautiful regions of West Bengal, and thus you should also visit once the West Bengal region. Very beautiful. Okay. So, and same goes with all the Northeast Indian states as well. Like when you go to Assam, Assam is a very beautiful place. You'll read about Kaziranga, Manas, and Orang. These three are tiger reserves. So there also you will find a lot of diversity, the lowlands and the highlands of Assam. Buksa is a very important again tiger reserves in Sankos and Raidak River are associated with it, and Sundarbans mein to Ganga, the Hooghly distributor is there. Simlipal, very important, always in news. So it is in Odisha, and Budhalvaganga and Baitarni River are associated with Simlipal. It is renowned for its unique black tiger. Black tiger कुछ नहीं वो मेलानिन के कारण हो जाता है, and vast biodiversity is there. Mayurbhanj district is associated with it. Then we have almost no tigers in 2 dozen, 3 dozen tigers are there, and it is named after silk cotton trees. Simli. There's important elephant reserves as well. ठीक है. Then we have the Kaziranga, one-horned rhinoceros के लिए it's very famous, very important. Kaziranga. So Kaziranga is world famous for hosting 2/3 of the global Indian one-horned rhinoceros, and it is in Golaghat, Karbi Anglong, Nagaon is, and Sonitpura. I have been to Nagaon. Okay. Then it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It has wild water buffalo as well, swamp deers as well. So this is what you need to know. And Brahmaputra River is associated with it. You have Manas, another one. Manas River is there. Orang in Assam. Brahmaputra River is associated with it. Then we have very important Namdhapa. Namdhapa Tiger Reserve, which is there in Arunachal Pradesh. And Noa Dihing River is associated with it. And it is India's third largest tiger reserves and a biodiversity hotspot. Okay, यहाँ पे ना we have flying squirrels. We also have big cats. Not only tiger, we have leopard, we have clouded leopard, we have snow leopard. Only park worldwide with all 4 big tigers. We have red panda, we have hollow gibbon. Okay, and flying squirrel के कारण it becomes more and more important. Western India में अगर हम जाएंगे तो रणथंबोर, Rajasthan, Chambal and Banas River are associated with it. Sariska, again in Rajasthan. Ruparel River, Mukundra Hills in Rajasthan. Chambal River is associated with it. Then Gir, Gir is a very important. It is a lion landscape as well. It is in Gujarat. Satrunji and Hiran River are associated with it. So Gir National Park is the world's only habitat for Asiatic lions. It is in Junagadh and Amreli district. It has a dry deciduous forest. Asiatic lion is a flagship species. We have more than 400 leopards, sambar, cheetal, chinkara, four-horned antelopes, crocodiles, and whatnot. Okay. Ajao, in southern India, Karnataka is a hotspot. We have Bandipur and Nagarhole. Kabini River is associated with it. Then we have Bhadra, again in Karnataka. Periyar Tiger Reserves in Kerala is important one. Periyar Tiger Reserve. I have been to Periyar Tiger Reserve. Very, very beautiful. Very beautiful Tiger Reserve. So the entire Kerala is very beautiful. The Periyar Tiger Reserve is a very beautiful Tiger Reserve. Okay. So it has not only tigers, it has also elephants, and it has gaur, it has lion-tailed macaw, it has Nilgiri tar, and Periyar Lake. Those you can do boating, etc. Here, it attracts a lot of wildlife. We have Silent Valley in Kerala, the Kunti Puja. It's a Palakkad region, the northern part of the Kerala. We have Anamalai Tiger Reserve in Tamil Nadu. Alayar and Amravati River associated with it. Then we have Satyamangalam in Tamil Nadu in Bhavani River associated with it. Now we will go a bit deep into Nagarjuna Sagar Srisalam. Okay, so it's the biggest one. And Andhra Pradesh and Telangana and Krishna river is associated with it. It is India's largest tiger reserve. There is a 3,728 kilometers square. It has spread. It was established a tiger reserve in 1983. It has approximately 60-70 tigers. And they have dholes, leopards, sloth bears, pangolins, blackbuck, chinkaras. And it has cultural sites as well, like Buddhist ruins are there. There are Shakti Peeths in this Nagarjuna Sagar, Srisalam. Prelims pointer है कि Jim Corbett Ramganga is one of the most repeated pairs. Kaziranga, Orang, Brahmaputra floodplain. Where Panna and Ken River often linked with Ken Betwa river linking project. Sundarbans, tidal mangrove ecosystem, not a single river, but Ganga distributaries. We have Bandipur, Nagarhoil, Mudumalai, Wayanad forms a continuous Nilgiri landscape, largely influenced by Kabini Moyar river system. ये आपका Nilgiri prelims pointer. ये map to mark series we have covered. We have gone too deep into all of these. ठीक है. Then we have Ramsar sites. So India, देखो ये Ramsar sites का number also ना keeps on increasing and decreasing. So this is something ना which you need to keep in mind. Numbers में थोड़ा ध्यान रखना. 98, 99 हो चुके हैं. The first site was in Chilka Lake, Odisha. फिर कोयलादौर National Park. Largest is Sundarban. Smallest is Renuka Wetland. ये तीन चार facts तो you should know always. Always you should remember. Yeah, and it is a wetlands of international importance, and it works on wise principle, wise use. ऐसा नहीं कि use ही नहीं करना, we have to use it, but we have to use it that in a such a manner that it is maintained. It doesn't goes away. You are not just killing the entire ecosystem. So it is very, very important that you know this. It is very important for biodiversity conservation, flora, fauna, migratory bird species. Okay. So Tamil Nadu has 20 plus, highest. No, we have UP में 10 plus या केरला में 10 plus. तो अभी हम ना recent additions को थोड़ा डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे. ऐसे तो we have all the names, but recent ones comes in news. Recent ones are of more importance. तो पहले ना एक आया है पटना बर्ड सेंचुरी. पटना से you don't include it in Bihar. It is in Uttar Pradesh, Etah. And it is a key migratory bird habitat. And यहाँ पे ना waterfowl support करता है, and that's why it is in news. Then we have Chahri Dhand. Chahri Dhand is in Gujarat, Kutch. It is a seasonal saline wetland, wintering almost 30,000 plus cranes, flamingos. Gujarat's only conservation reserves. It is. Then we also have Gokul Jalasai. Gokul Jalasai is in Bihar. Usme bhi Buxar, Battle of Buxar, where happened. Okay. Also, Buxar is important now for one of these strange things. Like, if given a hanging, so फांसी दी जाती है, so that rope, I think that is manufactured in Buxar. Okay. Then we have Udaipur Jheel. The Puj Hill Sapphire, you don't go to Rajasthan. It is in Bihar, West Champaran. Okay. We have Therathangal Bird Sanctuary. It is in newly added one in Tamil Nadu. We have Khechoparai wetland in Sikkim. It is a sacred lake. Khechoparai is a sacred lake. We have Udhwa Lake, Jharkhand, important for the migratory birds. We have Kitchen, Menar, both are of Rajasthan. It is a bird hotspot. Silsar Lake has been also recently added. It is of Rajasthan. Then we have Kopra Jalasai. It is of Chhattisgarh. Tawa Reservoir was added in 2024. It is of Madhya Pradesh. Then we have Nanjaran and Kajuveli Bird Sanctuary. It is in Tamil Nadu. ठीक है पूरा डिटेल्स इफ यू हैव टू सी तो ये है लिस्ट लेट्स सी इट कोलेरू लेक it is in Andhra Pradesh. It is a nutrient rich freshwater lake between Godavari and Krishna basin, supports fisheries, endangered spot billed pelican you can find from Koleru lake. Then we have Dipore Bill in Assam. It is a permanent freshwater lake near Guwahati, habitat of grey pelican, adjutant storks and bias poached. We have Kamartal. It is in Bihar. It is Oxbow Lake in Indo-Gangetic. ये आता है. This comes Oxbow Lake. Important है. That's why we have included. Critically endangered vultures are found here, and we have bears poached. Then we have Nagi Bird Sanctuary in Bihar, man-made wetland, wintering site for bears poached and steppe eagle. We have Nakti Bird Sanctuary in Bihar, reservoir wetland, red-crested poached and vulnerable catfish is found here. Then we have Gokul Jalashay in Bihar, Oxbow Lake, 50 plus bird species supporting fishing and agriculture. We have Udaipur Jheel in Bihar, Oxbow Lake, 280 plant species, common poached is found here. Nanda Lake, Goa, small freshwater marsh near Juari River. We have Khijadia in Gujarat, freshwater wetland. Palas, fish eagle, and Indian skimmers are found here. Nal Sarovar, Bird Sanctuary, Gujarat, largest natural freshwater lake in Thar Desert. Thol Lake, Gujarat, human-made reservoir. White rump vulture is found here. Then we have Vadhwana wetland, Gujarat, semi-arid wetland. Saras crane, common poached are found here. Then we have Bhendawas in Haryana, human-made freshwater wetland. An Egyptian vulture is found there. Sultanpur National Park, Haryana, near Delhi. Okay, important bird area. Sociable lapwing and Sakar falcons are found there. Chandartal, Himachal Pradesh, high altitude lake, snow leopard habitat is found here. Then we have Pong Dam in Himachal Pradesh. ये पूछा जा चुका है. Beas River Reservoir, and it is a trans-Himalayan flyways. Renuka, Himachal Pradesh, karst freshwater lake named after Parshuram's mother, Lord Parshuram's mother. Udhwa Lake, Jharkhand, Oxbow wetland, oriental white-backed vulture is found here. Then we have Aganisni estuary in Karnataka, free-flowing estuary, mangrove and nutrient cyclings are found there. Then we have Anka Mudra bird sanctuary in Karnataka near Hampi, 175 bird species. Can you imagine? Can you imagine so many bird species? Let me drink some water. Then we have Magadi Kere in Karnataka, saline wetland, bar-headed goose are found here. Rangana Thittu, Karnataka, Kaveri River, Magar crocodile, painted stork are found here. Ashtamuti wetland, Kerala, estuarine backwater, national waterway is there. Ashtamuti, thoda sa, we'll study in deep. It's important for this year examination. I have been to Ashtamuti. Okay, so very serene lake, very serene lake. It's in Kollam district in Kerala. Okay, it is a very important. Ashtamudi means 8 arms. Its arms are side, fed by Kalada River before draining to Arabian Sea. Yes, Sastamkota Lake also in Kerala, large freshwater lake in Kerala. Vemban and Kola, it's a very big. Seen Nehru Trophy, etc. The snake boat that happens in Vembanand. Okay, if you had chances to go in regions like Alappuzha, which is called as Alipi, you can see this. And it starts on the Kochi itself. Okay. So largest brackish lake, second largest Ramsar site. We have Bhoj wetland in Madhya Pradesh, twin lakes of Bhopal. Bhopal is a very clean and very green city. Then we have Sakya Sagar, Madhya Pradesh, near Madhav National Park, otter and mahasir. You can find golden mahasir, yaad aaya, fish. Kaveri was asked in your PYQ. Sirpur wetland, Madhya Pradesh, human-made wetland. Indian River Tarn is found here. Then we have Tawa Reservoir, Madhya Pradesh, within Satpura Tiger Reserve. Yashwant Sagar, Madhya Pradesh, important bird area. Lonar Lake in Maharashtra. Meteorite crater se this was made. It is hypersaline and alkaline, very important. We have Nandur Madhameshwar in Maharashtra. Godavari Kadwa confluence is there. Then we have Thane Creek, Maharashtra. Mangrove lined flamingo habitat. Then we have Loktak Lake in Manipur. Humdi's Kebul Lamjao Floating National Park is in Loktak Lake. CDS mein this is asked. Pala Wetland, Mizoram, Indo-Burma hotspot. Huluk Gibbon is found here. We have Ansupa Lake, Odisha. Oxbow of Mahanadi, largest freshwater lake of Odisha. Bitarganika, Mangrove, Odisha. Olive Ridley turtle. Olive Ridley turtle is very, very important. Ariba, Gahirmatha River. Saltwater crocodile is also found here. Chilka Lake, Odisha, India's first Ramsar site. Irrawaddy dolphin is found here. Hirakud Reservoir, Odisha. Flood control in Mahanadi Delta. Satkosia Gorge, Odisha. River forest mosaic. Tigers are found. Tampara Lake, Odisha. Connected to Rushikulya River. Yahi Olive Ridley turtle se associated it is. Byas is in Punjab. Harike, Kanjli, Keshopur, Nangal, and Ropad. All are in the Punjab. And Byas mein Indus dolphin hurricane mein there is a Byas Satluj confluence. Kanjli is associated with Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And the Keshopur Miani is associated with Pars Pond mosaic. Nangal is associated with Bhakra Nangal reservoirs, and Ropar is associated with Satluj Barrage wetland. We have Koila Dev, very important. Bharatpur. It was in Monterey record because of the critically it has become environmental, it has become critical. Siberian crane ke liye it is very, very famous. We have Sambar Lake in Rajasthan, largest inland salt lake. We have Khinchan also in Rajasthan. We have Menar also in Rajasthan, which is a freshwater pond. Kechuparai we had seen. Sikkim, Sacred Lake. Damojong Valley. Then we have Chitrangudi, Bird Sanctuary, Tamil Nadu. We have Gulf of Mannar in Tamil Nadu, famous for dugong. Then we have Kanjirana Kullam in Tamil Nadu, painted storks. Karavati, Tamil Nadu. We have Karikili, Tamil Nadu, spot-billed pelican. We have Khajuveli, Tamil Nadu, brackish lake. Khonta Kullam, Tamil Nadu, community protected wetland. We have Longwood Sola, Tamil Nadu, urban sola forest. We have Nanjavayan, Tamil Nadu, freshwater nesting wetland. Again, we have Pallikarini Marsh, Tamil Nadu, Chennai flood buffer. It acts. Pichavaram, Tamil Nadu, mangrove ecosystem. Point Calamar, Tamil Nadu, dry evergreen forest. Then we have Sachindaram Tharo wetland, Tamil Nadu, Central Asian flyway. We have Udaya Marthapuram, Tamil Nadu, floodwater storage. Vadavur, Tamil Nadu, largest irrigation tank. Vedantvangal bird sanctuary, oldest bird sanctuary. We have Velode Bird Sanctuary, Tamil Nadu, Indian River Tarn. We have Vembanur Wetland, Tamil Nadu, inland tank wetland. Okay. Then Rudrasagar Lake, already asked in PYQs, Tripura. Reservoir, roof turtle is found here. Hokera, Haigam, Shalbag, Surinsar Mansar, and Wooler. All are in Jammu and Kashmir. Yeah. Surinsar Mansar has mythological significance also. Then Tasokar and Taso Marori are important. Okay, and Tasokar is a high altitude saline lake. We have Bakhira in Uttar Pradesh, famous for Egyptian vulture. Then Hadarpur in Uttar Pradesh for Gharial and Mashir. Nawabganj in Uttar Pradesh, very, very important for Band Chandrasekhar. It has been renamed as Chandrasekhar Azad Bird Sanctuary. We have Parvati Agra Bird Sanctuary, Uttar Pradesh, Oxbow Lake. We have Saman Bird Sanctuary, Uttar Pradesh, Lowland Marsh. Sandi Bird Sanctuary in Uttar Pradesh for Saras crane. Sarsai Nawar Jheel, again in UP. And Sur Sarovar in UP. Upper Ganga River in UP, famous for dolphin and Gadial. And we have Asan Barrage in Uttarakhand and East Kolkata wetland in West Bengal. We have Sundarban wetland, of course, largest Ramsar site in Bangladesh. Often they ask which of the following Ramsar are associated with the river delta migratory flyway endangered species. Focus extra on Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Odisha, high altitude, Ladakh wetland. ठीक है, प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस हैं also been provided. ये थोड़ा सा माउंटेन रेंजेस में ना दे आस्क यू ईस्ट टू वेस्ट, वेस्ट टू ईस्ट. सो ये है थोड़ा सा. आप देखो, अगर हम वी गोइंग फ्रॉम वेस्ट टू ईस्ट तो ये गारो, खासी, जैंतिया, कैन वी हैव द मिकेर, नागा, पटकाई, बम, मिशमी. ओके, दिस इज मिजो हिल्स. So this you need to know. West to east, east to west. ठीक है, ध्यान रखना, ईस्ट टू वेस्ट और वेस्ट टू ईस्ट दे आस्क यू. These are some passes. जोजिला पास, ये देखिए श्रीनगर है. This is a बारालाचा पास. So I have included important ones which was mentioned in India year book in the PIB current affairs and also in the current affairs test series enrolled by 5,000 plus students. So it specifically test 9. If you have already enrolled, go through the test 9. You will find the important questions. India year book से. ठीक है. फिर हमारा ये अंडमान निकोबार ग्रुप ऑफ आइलैंड्स है. यहाँ पे आप देखो. ठीक है, तो ये दिस इज साउथ अंडमान, दिस इज लिटिल अंडमान, दिस इज मिडिल अंडमान एंड दिस इज नॉर्थ अंडमान. ठीक है, एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड एज अंडमान सी. दे कैन टेल यू टू नॉर्थ टू साउथ अरेंज करने के लिए. एंड वी हैव हैवलॉक आइलैंड, नाइल आइलैंड हियर. ओके, so this is what you need to know. Okay, there are different beaches name also that I have provided. This is North Sentinel Island and this is South Sentinel Island. This is 10-degree channel. Okay. अब देखो थोड़ा सा we will see the major soil types of India and the crops that are grown. फटाफट से देख लेते हैं. Nothing we are trying to measure. So India has 8 major soil types. If you see the alluvial, the Indo-Gangetic plains में it is majorly found. Okay, the alluvial soils, you can see alluvial soils. And it is fertile. It is also silty. Bhangar is old, Khadar is new. Majorly, if you see rice, wheat, sugarcane, pulses are grown here. Black soil, this region of black soil. Here region of black soil, also called as a Regur soil. Deccan में it is found. Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, etc. All of this region, this is you can see all the regions. Deccan Plateau, Hyderabad, you see it's on Deccan Plateau. That's why the language which is spoken especially in Hyderabad is called as Dakkani. Dakkani. काय को आया तू ऐसे करके दे स्पीक ना. क्या पढ़ाई कर रहा है रे, बैगन का पढ़ाई कर रहा. all this language. Okay, so black soil, it is clay, it has a property of retention of moisture, and it is very very important for your cotton cultivation. You observe in देखिए water retention होता है, that's why rain fed crops can be grown here. Soybean, jowar, pulses, etc. can be grown. Cotton can be grown. You also have red and yellow soils. It can be find in, again, this in Deccan. You can also find this in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Odisha. This is iron rich and it is porous. Fertility is low. Majorly millets, groundnut, rice, pulses. Rice, na, irrigated land में rice is cultivated. We have laterite soils. We have laterite soils. So laterite soils are found in Western Ghats. You can see this is the region. Western Ghats, Northeast Hill, Kerala, Karnataka. So it is leached, acidic, and high, and again iron is high. It is good for tea, coffee, rubber, cashew, rice cultivation. Okay, and rubber to maximum comes from Kerala, now called as Kerala. Desert, arid desert, Rajasthan and Gujarat may mostly found. Rajasthan and Gujarat. Okay, sandy, low organic matter, and bajra, pulses, wheat can be cultivated with irrigation, not rain-fed. Forest and mountain in Himalayas and also in the Western Ghats. It is loamy and acidic. Tea, spices, fruits, temperate crops are found. Potatoes are also grown. Peaty and marshy in Kerala coast and Odisha. Organic and waterlogged rice and jute are cultivated. Like Kutanad, it's very famous for rice. Saline and alkaline. So in coastline and semi-arid rice and high salt is there. Barley can be, if you can reclaim the land, then cotton can also be grown. फिर से देखो रामसर साइड का ना वो वाला मैप वाज नॉट सो गुड सो आई इंक्लूडेड अगेन द इम्पोर्टेंट वंस ठीक है वेटलैंड इंटरनेशनल से दिस साइड है डाउनलोड थोड़ा सा ओल्डर वन है बट दिस इज हाई क्वालिटी important ones are mentioned here. You can also see the north to west or east to south, the important ones. If they are asking, though, you can use this map. It will be posted in the Karmi Telegram channel. ये देखो ये इंपॉर्टेंट हमारे माउंटेन रेंजेस हैं. दिस इज अरावली वी हैव डिस्कस्ड. ये विंध्यन है, ये सतपुड़ा, दिस इज डेक्कन, ईस्टर्न घाट, वेस्टर्न घाट. ठीक है. अब आपसे ना इफ दे आस्क यू दैट वेस्टर्न घाट्स goes through how many states, this can be a probable question in the prelims examination. सब cover करेंगे, nothing will be left. So western ghats spans no 6 states: गुजरात, महाराष्ट्र, गोवा, कर्नाटका, केरला एंड तमिलनाडु. ठीक है. गुजरात में नॉर्दर्न मोस्ट टिपिंग पॉइंट पे, देन महाराष्ट्र इज कॉल्ड एज सह्याद्री. Then in Goa, mid-section forests are there. In Karnataka, we have Sharavati Valley, Jog Fall is there. In Kerala, Annamalai, Silent Valley, Agastamalai. Tamil Nadu, mein Nilgiri and Palani Hills is found. Then Eastern Ghats are also there, which are inundated. This is Eastern Ghats. Okay. So Eastern Ghats is a discontinuous lower mountain range and spans 5 states. One is Odisha. Odisha se pass hota Andhra, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. The highest percentage in Andhra Pradesh. Important peak is the Jindagada and Armakonda. You have rivers also, no? Right? Manadi and all these rivers you can see. Red soils dominate here. Okay. And this is something which you need to remember about the Eastern Ghats. They also have some important peaks also in Eastern Ghats. So Devmali, Mahendragiri, Galikonda. Then here we had discussed mountain ranges. This is our Karakoram. We have other hills as well, like Javadi, Palani, in the Andhra and South India ranges. Javadi Hills, sub-range of Eastern Ghat. Okay, Javadi is in Tamil Nadu, Shevaroy, Shirumalai, Nalamala hill is in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. Sorry, Javadi, Shevaroy and Shirumalai is in Tamil Nadu. Okay, this you also can remember. Cardamom Hills अपना is in Kerala. तो ये आपके लक्षद्वीप ग्रुप ऑफ आइलैंड्स हैं. ठीक है. आंद्रौत, कारावट्टी, Kalpani, Cheriam, Suheli, this is 9-degree Chelan. Then Bitra, Agati, Chellat. Okay. Now let's discuss some of the important static concepts that we could not discuss earlier on. This is very, very important for this year prelims examination. So normally in the Pacific Ocean, what happens is the cool waters are near the Southern America. Okay. And warm waters are near the Indonesia. This is Indonesia. Strong winds push warm water towards this direction. Okay. Now in El Nino, what happens is this trade wind that is flowing will weaken. Warm water will move towards east. Okay. To South America. Instead of earlier it was going towards Indonesia. Okay, now it will go in a reverse direction because the wind is getting weakened. In La Nina, what will happen? The wind will further strengthen. More warm water will stay. Okay, so normally the cool water stays near South America, warm water near Indonesia. Strong winds push warm water towards the western direction. But when El Nino comes, the winds weaken, the warm water moves east to South America in the reverse direction. La Nina, this wind will further strengthen and more warm water will stay in the western part, that is Indonesia. So naturally what happens is, because the water is now warmer here, cooler here. So water will flow from South America to Indonesia. But because of El Nino, this situation will get a reversal. And the water that gets displaced, it is replaced through an upwelling process. Water, a cooler water will come above and it will replace it. But when La Nina will come, it will replace the entire scenario. Or El Nino will come, it will replace the entire scenario. La Nina will further strengthen the normal condition. Now, its effect on India specifically, specifically the monsoon, is something which is very, very important for us to understand for the examination. So, El Nino, one thumb rule is that it will weaken the monsoon. Drought-like condition can develop. La Nina will make the monsoon even more stronger. This is what you need to know. So, normally the strong winds, good monsoon clouds, rain in India. El Nino, wind will be clouds go to America, India will become wetter dry towards Southern America. So this is what you need to know. In 2015 also, we had a strong El Nino. 14% less rain happened because of it. Okay. 2020 to 22 was set to La Nina years. So the rainfall was more. The name of El Nino has come from the boy child. Okay. But this is not very important for us. Next is Madden Julian oscillation. So consider it as a massive eastward moving cluster of clouds, rains, and winds that travel around the equator. Equator के around it travels. So इसमें there is a two phases. One is wet phase. Second is called as dry phase. So wet phase में rising air leads to cloud formation and heavy rainfall. Dry phase में sinking air will sink. That leads to clear sky and dry weather. Okay? So it starts in the tropical Indian Ocean. It travels eastward at a speed of around 4 to 8 meters per second. And it takes roughly 30 to 60 days to circle the entire globe and return to the Indian Ocean. So when the wet phase is there, it enhances the monsoon. The moisture and rising air creates active spells, that is intense rain. When the dry phase is over, India, when dry phase is there, so it suppresses the monsoon, and even during the peak monsoon months, you get break spells, no rain. It is called as a monsoon break. Okay. And this MGO also acts as a trigger for cyclones. When the convective phase moves over the Bay of Bengal or the Arabian Sea, it provides the much needed low pressure condition and moisture needed for a cyclone to form. Without low pressure, no cyclone can be formed. Now we have another term that is called as Indian Ocean Dipole. Now Indian Ocean Dipole is equally very important, is essentially the El Nino of the Indian Ocean, as you understand it. So it has three phases. One is in the first phase, which is called as the positive phase, positive IOD. So in this, the Western Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea side becomes warmer than usual, while the Eastern becomes colder. So warm water leads to more evaporation and cloud formation over the Arabian Sea. This acts as a massive boost for the Indian monsoon, leading to above average rainfall. The result elsewhere is droughts and bushfires in Australia, Indonesia, and floods in East Africa. In terms of negative Indian Ocean dipole, the Eastern Indian Ocean becomes warmer than usual, and the western sides become cooler. This weakens the monsoon. The moisture stays near Indonesia, Australia, leading to monsoon breaks. And then we have a neutral phase as well. So this is what is called as Indian Ocean dipole. Now, another thing which we need to discuss it very quickly to understand as what is required for the prelims examination. So jet streams are fast flowing. First thing is fast flowing. Narrow, meander because they flow like this, of air current located high up in the atmosphere near the tropopause. So they are found mostly at the boundaries of large atmospheric cells. You must have heard, na? These cells, Hadley cells, Farrell cell, polar cell. Okay, so we have here, see, subtropical jet, we have here polar jet. And why do they form? The first question should be, why do they form? So the bigger the temperature difference between cold polar air and warm tropical air, the faster the jet stream flows. And also Coriolis effect, as the air tries to move from the equator to the poles, the Earth's rotation deflects it, causing it to flow from west to the east direction. Okay. And we have now two major ones. One is polar front jet, that is stronger, located at higher latitudes, 60 degree north, 60 degree south. Subtropical jet, located around 30 degree north, 30 degree south. This is the one most relevant for our environment. Now, subtropical westerly jet in the winter season, it flows over North India in winter, and the Himalayas split this jet into two branches. The southern branch brings western disturbances. Often you would have heard cyclonic storms from the Mediterranean Sea into India, which provides crucial winter rain for the Rabi crops, that is wheat cultivation. Then we have tropical easterly jet summer. This is a temporary jet that forms over the Tibetan plateau in summer. It flows from the east to west. It is considered the engine of the Indian monsoon. Its presence helps pull moisture-laden winds from the Indian Ocean towards the Indian landmass. So you must have heard that how these are impacting the monsoon. Everything that we have read now, these all impact the monsoon. Okay. So this is what you need to know. Now let's hit the main person, hit the bullseye, monsoon. So monsoon is important. You have read now all the factors which are impacting it. So monsoon is a giant seasonal reversal of wind pattern. It is found over the Indian subcontinent, northeastern part of South America, and northern Australia. Heavy rainfall occurs mostly in summer, and mostly winter is dry. So the factors which lead to onset of monsoon: high temperature, pressure gradient, distribution of land and sea, reversal of wind and ocean current, Coriolis force, and jet stream. Some of these we have already seen. So what happens to understand in a very common, very easy way? The Indian landmass heats up much faster than the surrounding Indian Ocean. This creates a low pressure zone over the, specifically the North India, especially the Thar Dozen Tibetan Plateau to be precise. Now to fill this void of low pressure, cool, moisture-laden winds from the high pressure area over the southern Indian Ocean rush towards the India. Now, as these winds cross the equator, the Coriolis force caused by the Earth's rotation deflects them to the right. This turns them into the southwest monsoon winds. Like this, they turn. Okay. Now we have two branches of southwest monsoon. One is the Arabian Sea branch that hits the Western Ghat first, causing heavy rainfall in Kerala. Kerala is the first place now where the monsoon comes. Then Karnataka, then Maharashtra. And the Bay of Bengal branch moves towards Myanmar and West Bengal, eventually getting reflected by the Himalayas towards the Gangetic Plains. Then the reversal happens in the winter's northeast monsoon phase. Here, the high pressure is forms over the land because of the low temperature, and low pressure stays over the ocean. Now the wind will blow from the land towards the sea. These are generally dry winds, but as they cross the Bay of Bengal, they pick up moisture and bring rain to Tamil Nadu, the Coromandel coast. That's why you will see rainfall in Tamil Nadu, in Coromandel coast from October to December. Now, this is a lifeline of India. Nearly 50% of India's net sown area is rain-fed, and a good monsoon equals a good GDP growth for India. And if poor rains leads to high food prices, inflation, and so many problems. So the factors are the Madden Julian oscillation, Indian Ocean dipole, both are impacting El Nino, La Nina, and these all will impact the monsoon. This is how you need to understand. See, this is the Bay of Bengal branch, this is the Arabian Sea branch. And then the reversal is happening, northeast trade winds. Here they are bringing rainfall. Okay, and monsoon break, though we have read that how it breaks because of the various conditions, including the Indian Ocean dipole and Madden Julian oscillation. So now it is a period during the rainy season when the rainfall stops almost completely for several days or even weeks. It is a kind of a pause in the monsoon. So the break happens for various reasons, like the position of the jet stream. This trough shifts northwards towards the foothill of the Himalayas, and this leads to a kind of a pause. MGO phase or cyclonic activity can also impact it, pressure changes, and this also impacts the monsoon. We also have now cyclones, tropical and temperate cyclone. So tropical and temperate cyclones are also important for your examination, and we will try to understand it in a manner that we are seeing the difference between both. Now, tropical cyclones are violent storms that form over warm tropical oceans. And the location is, if you see the tropical cyclones, they are roughly between 8 degree and 25-degree north and south of the equator. Okay, this is something the area, but if you see, they need warm sea surface temperature. So the energy comes from the latent heat of condensation. They have a calm center called the eye of the cyclone. When tufan se pehle aane ki khamoshi, silence before the storm is coming. And it is the eye wall where the most destructive winds and heavier rain occurs. They generally move from east to west, driven by the trade winds. Once they hit the land, they lose their moisture source and die. Okay? This is called as landfall. And temperate cyclone, if we have to understand, so it is a location between 35 degrees and 65 degrees north and south latitudes. I have discussed the formation occurrence both here, so it is in more and more detail. They are formed by meeting of two different air masses. Two different air masses will meet, one cold and dry from the poles and one warm and moist from the subtropic. The boundary where they meet is called as front. Okay. They do not have clear eye. Instead, they have a complex system of warm fronts and cold fronts, and they cover a much larger area than tropical cyclones, but have lower wind speeds. They move from west to east, driven by westerlies. This is why the western disturbance bring rain to northwest India in winter. They do not die out upon hitting land. They can travel across entire continents as well. Okay. And tropical cyclones can they occur only over sea. Temperate can occur on both land and sea. Okay. So this is what you need to understand. Another important concept for your examination is polar vortex, and we will try to understand it. So polar vortex is a large circulation of low pressure and cold air that forms every winter in the stratosphere above the north and south poles. The term vortex refers to the counterclockwise flow of air. Counterclockwise flow of air that helps colder air in close to the poles. Okay, it is located high in the atmosphere, the stratosphere. The jet stream is somewhat connected to it. The polar vortex is held in place by the jet stream only. Sometimes the polar vortex weakens or wobbles. This usually happens due to sudden stratospheric warming. When the vortex weakens, it behaves like a spinning top that is starting to slow down. It begins to meander and break into smaller lobes. This allows the freezing Arctic air to spill southward into mid-latitudes like North America or Siberia, causing Arctic blast or extreme cold waves in the area. And there is a growing debate about the climate change, and the melting of Arctic ice is weakening the jet stream. A weaker jet stream makes the polar vortex more likely to leak cold air southwards. This is what you need to understand for your examination. Now, another important concept for your examination is geomagnetism. Now, what is geomagnetism, first of all? So, geomagnetism is the study of Earth's magnetic field and all associated phenomena and forces that impacts it. So, the magnetic field is not created by a solid magnet inside the Earth. This is you need to understand. It is too hot for that, the Earth interior. It is generated in the outer core. So, what happens is the outer core is made of liquid iron and nickel. As the Earth rotates, this liquid metal moves in a swirling motion, like a convection. This movement of conducting fluid creates electric current, which in turn generates the magnetic field. This is known as the dynamo effect. Now, geographic north is the fixed point of the Earth's axis, but magnetic north is the point where the field lines are vertical. This point is not fixed. This is constantly moving. Then the magnetic declination is a concept. The angle between the true north, that is the geographic, and magnetic north, what your compass shows, the navigation must adjust for this. Okay. So this is what you need to know. Every few 100,000 years, the Earth's magnetic pole actually swap places, north becomes south. This is recorded in the magnetic memory of rocks on the ocean floor, proving the theory of sea floor spreading also again. Okay, compass, GPS, everything depends on that. That is why we need to understand it. Okay. Another anomaly. The anomalies are so much in terms of our climates. So there is another anomaly which is called a South Atlantic anomaly. So it is an area where Earth's inner Van Allen radiation belts comes closest to Earth's surface, dipping down to an altitude of 200 kilometers. Let's understand it in a more easier way. It is a weak spot, rather, or a dent in Earth's protective magnetic shield. It is a region stretching over South America and South Atlantic Ocean where the magnetic field is significantly weaker than in other parts of the world. इसको ऐसे समझो, as simple as that. Why does it exist? Because Earth magnetic field isn't perfectly centered. So if you imagine a bar magnet inside the Earth, it is shifted slightly towards the north and away from the South Atlantic. The Van Allen belt is, because the magnetic field is weak here, the inner Van Allen radiation belt, a zone of high energy charged particles, dips much closer to the Earth's surface as low as 200 kilometers. Okay, so why it is an anomaly then? While the rest of the Earth's magnetic fields acts like a strong wall against solar radiation, this area allows charged particles from the sun to penetrate deeper into the atmosphere. And this causes satellites to malfunctions. When satellites on the International Space Station pass through this region, the high energy particles can hit their electronic circuits. And astronauts have reported seeing shooting stars. Hubble Space Telescope of NASA actually tons of the sensitive instrument on the Hubble telescope in this region. This is what you need to know. Then we have another concept which is called as planetary winds. Okay, so planetary winds are nothing but general circulation of atmosphere. We have three types of planetary winds: trade winds or tropical easterlies, westerlies, and polar winds or polar easterlies. So winds, generally, understand it, wind move from high pressure to low pressure. Because the earth is heated unevenly, hot at the equator, cold at the polar, it creates distinct pressure belts. Because of that, these winds flow. There are three major types. The trade wind, they blow from the subtropical high pressure, okay, that is 30 degree north or south towards the equatorial low pressure. Due to the Coriolis force, they blow from the northeast in the northern hemisphere and southeast in the southern hemisphere. And westerly is the second type. They blow from the subtropical high pressure, that is 30 degree north and south, towards the subpolar low pressure. They blow from the west towards the east. Okay. In the southern hemisphere, what happens is there is very little land to slow them down. So these winds become very violent, these westerlies. They are famously known as the roaring 40s, furious 50s, and shrieking 60s. Then we have the polar winds or polar easterlies. They blow from the polar high pressure, 90 degree north and south, towards the subpolar low pressure. They are cold, dry, and stable winds. And we have three atmospheric cells. That is headless cell between the equator and 30 degree. And we have Ferrel cell between 30 degree and 60 degree. And polar cells between the 60 degree and 90 degree. And Coriolis factor, Coriolis forces which deflects the wind to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Ferrel's law. This is called as Ferrel's law. Okay, so these are permanent. They do not change direction with seasons. They cover the entire Earth. Okay, that is why they are called as planetary winds. We have climates of the world. Before that, I want to discuss another topic which can be asked by UPSC. We should not leave anything, and that is why this is very, very important. Now, unlike planetary wind that blows across the globe, there are local winds as well, which are diurnal. Okay, like Lu in India, very hot and dry wind that blows in the Indo-Gangetic plain. We have Chinook in the USA and Canada that blows down the eastern slope of the Rockies. It is called the snow eater because it melts the winter snow. Then we have Fohn. Fohn is in Alps in Europe, similar to Chinook, a dry warm wind that helps in ripening the grapes. We have Harmattan winds, which is in West Africa, a dry, dusty winds blowing from the Sahara. It is called the doctor because it provides relief from the humid tropical air. And we have Siroku, a hot, dry, dusty wind blowing from the Sahara to the Mediterranean Sea and the southern Europe. Then we have cold local winds, that is Mistral. Mistral is an example of it, a cold, fast wind that blows from the Alps towards the Mediterranean. And then we have Bora in Adriatic Sea, a very cold and violent wind blowing from the mountains towards the coast of Italy or Balkans. We have blizzard as well, which flows in tundra and Canada, violent cold winds accompanied by the powdery snow that reduces visibility to zero. Okay, we have now some terms which are important for your examination. Nor'westers, Kal Vaisakhi, you must have heard. What are these? What are these Nor'westers and Kal Vaisakhi? You all eat mangoes in a specific season. Why it happens in the specific season? So nor'wester is the name which is used, in the northwest direction of wind wind flows. We have in Bihar it is called as Purvaiya, and we have Kal Vaishakhi in West Bengal. Kal means calamity or death, and Vaishakhi is the Hindu month. So in April, May, so it is calamity of the month of Basak, and these all are very important for mango ripening and other things. In Assam, it is called as Bordoi Shila. Okay. So It is called as also mango showers or cherry blossoms because pre-monsoon rains in Karnataka helps in the flowering of coffee as well. So this is what you need to know. Quickly discuss the climates of the world. Well, first is hot, wet equatorial climate, mostly between 5 degree north and south of equator. So these are the areas where this climate is found. Temperature is uniform throughout the year with no winter season. The mean monthly temperature are always around 27 degrees Celsius. Cloudiness and daily precipitation moderates the day temperature. Precipitation is heavy. The बारिश ज़्यादा होती है, well distributed throughout the year. There are two periods of maximum rainfall, April and October. Vegetation. So in here you can find because of abundant rainfall, you can have high yield tropical hardwood like mahogany, ebony, dyewood. This is typically important for your examination. This is what they ask. In the coastal area, we have mangrove forest as well. Here you won't find much of the population and communicable diseases are rampant. Then you have savanna or the Sudan climate. It is confined within the tropics and best developed in the Sudan. It is a transitional type of climate found between the equatorial rainforest and hot desert. These are the areas where it is found. Mean annual temperature is greater than 18 degrees Celsius and the temperature is generally dry, hot and nights are cold. This extreme diurnal range of temperature is another characteristic. Extreme diurnal. Mean annual rainfall range is from 80 to 100 centimeter on shore winds in summer. It brings rain, and we have savanna kind of a landscape, which is also called as elephant grass. Tall and coarse grasses are grown here. The trees are deciduous. Okay. It is also sparsely populated. And here you can find cotton, cane, sugar, coffee, oil palm, groundnuts, which are grown. And we have hot deserts and mid-latitude deserts. The temperate deserts are rainless because of either continentality or rain shadow effect. Gobi Desert is formed due to continentality and Patagonia Desert due to rain shadow effect. The rain shadow region hota hai to because of that also desert develops. This is your Patagonian Desert. Let me zoom in. This is Patagonian Desert. This is your Atacama. This is Mojave Desert. This is the Great Sahara Desert. Okay, this is Arabian Desert. This is Massawa. This is Kalahari. This is Namib Desert. In Australia, we have so many. We have Gobi Desert. Okay, so these all are deserts. There is no cold season. Summer temperature is high around 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, high diurnal temperature range. Even if you go to the far, you will see high variation in temperature. Mid-latitude deserts, the annual range of temperature is much greater. Winters are often severe as well. Due to their coldness and elevation, snowfalls happens in winter. And here you will find xerophytic, drought resistant. Thicker leaves, water will not go. You must have seen kikar, etc. These which are water drought resistant plants. These are bear, khair. These are all plants. You can thorn bushes, long roots. They have waxy surface on leaves, needle shaped to reduce the loss of water through transpiration, leathery, hairy. There are oases, and you can find maize, barley, wheat, cotton, cane sugar can be cultivated. These are rich in minerals. So Kalgurli and Pulgar, they are known for gold mines. Kalahari Desert, the discovery diamonds and copper is also there. Then we have warm temperate Western Manji, that is Mediterranean, very good climate. It is between 30 degree and 45 degree north and south of the equator. And Mediterranean has the greatest extent of this type of winter rain climate, this region. A dry, warm summer with offshore trends, concentration of rainfall in winter with onshore westerlies. Trees with small, broad leaves are there. Okay. And we have also drought tolerant ones. We have evergreen oaks, which are found. In Australia, the eucalyptus trees can be found. Redwood trees, typical of the Californian trees, can be also found here. The olive tree is probably the most typical of all Mediterranean cultivated vegetation, and it is also known as the world's orchards land. All the citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, limes, citrons, and grapefruits are grown here. Transhumance is widely practiced, moving up and down in the hills. Viticulture is by tradition a Mediterranean occupation, and for tourism also it is very popular. Then we have temperate continental, that is steppe climate. They lie in the interior of the continent, lie in the westerly wind belt. Grasslands are practically treeless, and in Eurasia they are called as steppes and stretch eastwards from the source of the Black Sea to the foothills of the Altai Mountains. Climate is continental with extremes of temperature. The steppe type of climate in the southern hemisphere is never severe. Greatest difference from the tropical savanna, the steppes are practically treeless and the grasses are much shorter. These are less suitable for arable farming and used for some of the ranching, as in the high plains of USA. If you see the Himalaya, though, they are also called as granaries of the world, prairies. Beside weeds, maize is increasingly cultivated in the warm and wetter areas. The tufted grass have been replaced by more nutritious lucerne or alfalfa grass for cattle and sheep rearing. Then we have warm temperate eastern margin. This is China type of climate. Temperate monsoon China type of climate is observed in most parts of China. The climate is also observed in southern part of Japan. Gulf type, the climate found in southeastern USA, bordering the Gulf of Mexico, where continental heating in summer induces an inflow of air from the cooler Atlantic Ocean. Then we have natal type. Natal type is different from temperate monsoon or China type, as it receives rainfall from owns or trade winds of the year around. These are the areas. It is warm, moist summer and a cool, dry winter. Occasionally, the penetration of cold air, polar vortex happens here, which can bring down the temperature to freezing point. Supports luxuriant vegetation. The lowland carry both evergreen, broadleaves forest and deciduous hardwood forest as well. The third of the world's rice is grown in China. It has cane sugar, maize, cattle, sheep rearing is also done. Milk, butter, dairy farming is also done in Australia. Cotton and tobacco cultivation also. Then we have British type of climate, is also called as natural air condition. They are under the influence of the westerlies all around the year. They are a region of frontal cyclonic activity, temperate cyclone. This type of climate is typical to Britain, hence it is called as British climate. Also called as Northwest European Maritime climate. Okay, these are the areas where this climate is found. Okay. Moderately warm summers and fairly mild winters. Rainfall occurs throughout the year with winter maximum. The mean annual temperature usually between 5 degrees and 15 degrees Celsius. Winters are abnormally mild. This is because of the warming effect brought by the warm North Atlantic drift. Sometimes unusual cold spells are caused by the invasion of cold polar continental air from the interiors. The British type of climate has adequate rainfall throughout the year. Okay. Vegetation, if you will see, it has deciduous forest. The trees shed their leaves in the cold season. Shedding begins in autumn and fall season. The deciduous tree occur in pure stands and have greater lumbering value. The open nature of the forest with sparse undergrowth is useful in logging operations as well. The countries are concerned in the production of machinery, chemicals, textiles. Fishing is particularly important in Britain, Norway, and British Columbia. Britain, France, and Germany have significant mineral resources. Then we have the cool, temperate continental Siberian climate, so found only in the northern hemisphere. And there is a harsh winter, and the strong oceanic influence reduces the severity of the winter in the southern hemisphere. Narrowness of the southern continent in the high latitude is the main reason. That is why it happens it is found only in the northern hemisphere. Summers are brief, whereas winters are long and brutally cold. Siberian climate, if you see, the annual temperature range is highest in Siberian climate. Occasionally cold northerly polar local winds such as blizzards of Canada and Buran of Eurasia blow violently as well. Okay, it's quite well distributed throughout the area. The annual precipitation. We have coniferous forests which are found here. Taiga. The coniferous forest belt of Eurasia and North America are the richest source of softwood. Agriculture is most prominent. Lumbering is done in a high number. Paper and pulp industries there. Furniture, wood carving, toys, etc. Then we have byproducts. We make varnishes, paints, dyes, resins, wood alcohols, disinfectants. Then we have cool temperate eastern margin that is called as Laurentian climate. Then again, it is only in the northern hemisphere. Why not in southern hemisphere? Because only a small section of continental extends south of 40-degree latitude. What is there now beyond this? So because of this, there is. So these regions are subject to aridity rather than continentality. And rain shadow regions of Andes and so westerly hardly ever reach these regions. Okay? These regions naturally have the Laurentian climate. One of the last topic is ocean currents. And these are continuous directed movements of seawater generated by forces like wind, Coriolis effect, and difference in water density. Again, cold water and warm water and all of this. We have surface water current. These make up the 10% of all water in the ocean. They are primarily driven by planetary winds. Deep water current. These make up the 90%. They are driven by density and temperature difference. Then we have warm currents. They flow from the equator towards the pole. Equator se pole ke taraf. Like Gulf Stream in Atlantic, Kuroshio in Pacific, Agulas in the Indian Ocean. Cold currents, they flow from the poles towards the equator. They bring cold water to warmer regions. Example, Canary in Atlantic, Humboldt or Peru in Pacific, Venezuela in Atlantic. And one thing which you need to know, when both the currents meet, it makes a very fertile ground for fishing. So when Oishio and Kuroshio winds meet, Japan has one of the very huge fishing ground. That is because of the development, because of the meeting of cold and warm ocean current. Okay. Warm currents keep northwestern Europe much warmer than other places at the same latitude. Okay. We have desert formation also. Cold currents on the western coast of continents are often responsible for the formation of arid deserts. Like Atacama Desert is caused by the cold Humboldt current. Okay, so this is what you need to. There is a Sargasso Sea, a region in the North Atlantic where four currents form a rotating circle, trapping seaweed in the middle. Sargasso Sea. So this is what you need to know. We have covered almost everything so in so depth in so less time. I have given a lot of effort, and I know I am pretty sure this lecture will help you the most in the prelims examination because we have covered all the core details of first the mapping, and we studied a lot of concepts with mapping, and then the other concepts also we studied. And all I want from you is that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you put a comment if it helps you, you like the video, you share our videos, and just clear the prelims. And after clearing the prelims, don't forget, put a message to me. God bless you, everyone. And the PDF will be posted in Karma Yogi IAS Telegram channel and the practice test as well. Thank you.